about how the announcement trailer featured a ton of Easter eggs and details, but thankfully, kind folks over at IGN got a chance to sit down with the developers of the game for a comprehensive rewind theater, so don't miss out.
Get the f away from my friends.
We got a look at a Halo Infinite multiplayer cinematic that sets the theme for Season 1 of the game when it launches. And, of course, we got an announcement for the game's release date. Yes, finally, December 8th, 2021. So keep those calendars clear, Spartans.
Glad to see me.
Speaking of release date reveals for giant games, Horizon Forbidden West is now releasing on February 18th, 2022. One surprise announcement absolutely no one was expecting was DokeV, an open-world MMO that is all about
Salve, galera.
creatures in an
Chegando um pouquinho atrasado.
stunning
Atrasado, né? Era pra ser 20 minutos
I mean,
antes, porque
look
já
at it.
tinha o...
I have zero idea of what's going on, but there's
a preview, né? O pré-evento. Eles devem ter dado uma... como eu imaginei, estão dando uma reprise do que aconteceu no evento passado. Sobre esse... Aí, o momento triste da live. Me enganaram, mano. Achei que era um jogão, os caras anunciou o Tactics, mano. RPG Tactics. Você tá ali de boa. Você só quer... Mano, você não fica pedindo um jogo da Marvel. Só quando os caras mostram, você espera. Ah, não. Os caras vão mostrar um jogo bom, né? E não dizendo que o jogo seja ruim, mas... Mano, você espera outra coisa, tá ligado? Você espera um jogo tipo Homem-Aranha. Do PlayStation 4, tá ligado? É isso que você espera. O que você tem na sua mão? Você tem um Tactics. Basicamente. Ah, caiu a live? Peraí.
That's good news. And it wouldn't be a Jeff Keighley show without an extended look at Death Stranding Director's Cut, which showed off a very Metal Gear Solid style level, which I am way into. And of course, more sick ramps, which I am also way into. And that does it for today's coverage of the coverage. What did
a live tá normal, né, galera?
Let us
Esquisito.
know in the comments below. And remember, get the right
eu vou pesquisar de novo, é porque eu tento abrir pra poder ver os comentários aqui no celular. Mas não apareceu pra mim ela. Porra, minha própria live, como assim? Então vai ser um pouquinho mais difícil ver os comentários. Peraí, galera, eu já vou deixar no ao vivo aqui, deixa eu só abrir a tela.
Each company has sole financial responsibility for its own products.
Que hoje tá meio complicado. Vai começar. Ah, eles devem ter feito uns anúncios lá. A maioria das coisas deve ter sido reprise da antiga. Mas eles devem ter revelado algumas coisas que a gente perdeu, mas o evento principal é agora. Que esse evento, no caso, é um evento menor. Eu não tinha nem comentado no canal dele, mas ele é focado nos indies, vamos dizer assim. Isso aí foi anunciado, acho que faz muito pouco tempo. Acho que depois que eu fiz o vídeo, inclusive. Mas é focado mais nos indies. O evento principal que vai ter hoje também é o Future Game Show, que a gente vai fazer também. Só que é mais tarde, é lá para 5 horas. Eita, tinha um jogo lá maneirão.
Awesome Indies!
Awesome
And
Indies.
we're coming to you from LA's historic Venice Beach. Plus, a live episode of Next Gen Console Watch.
Next Gen Console Watch?
No matter where you are on the planet, you're in the right place to celebrate the best in gaming.
Ok, né?
So grab a seat, get comfortable. Wait, we already said that. Just hang out. Gamescom Studio Live is about To start any second now.
Uma coisa aqui. Não tá ao vivo de novo. Meu Deus.
Live on IGN, I'm Damon Hatfield, one of the friendly faces you'll be seeing through.
A interferência por algum motivo.
Coming out of Gamescom, from trailers and gameplay demos to screenshots and interviews. Plus, you can win goodies and prizes by participating in the Gamescom Epics Quest. And it's all totally free. You can find out more at now.gamescom.global.
And of course, you can engage with other virtual Gamescom attendees around the world across a ton of social platforms: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, and Discord. Just use the hashtag Gamescom2021 to join the conversation, and who knows, maybe we'll share your post on Gamescom Studio.
Se ficar muito zoado, eu mudo pro 480p.
Now I know you're dying to see some trailers and gameplay, but really quick, here's what's coming up. At 11:30 a.m. Pacific, you can catch more of Swaim revealing some awesome indie games and a showcase with the self-explanatory title of Awesome Indies. After that, we're kicking off Gamescom Studio, where you can expect tons more trailers, gameplay, and developer interviews on anticipated games like Dying Light 2, Forza Horizon 5, and more. And later on, we've got a brand new next-gen console watch, where we'll break down all the biggest news around the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. Now, thank you for waiting patiently. We know you're here to see some video games. Kim, what's next?
Well, Damon, if you've ever wished you could beat up strangers over the
A galera aqui tá comentando na live, né? Eles querem ver Sons of the Forest. O Valhalla?
Over and over. What bringeth thee here?
É o Assassin's Creed Valhalla, eu acho. Que é DLC nova? Valhalla? Que? Blood é outro. Oxi. Blood of Heroes.
Players can use magic or brute force to punish their enemies. Even the slightest mistake in this arena's brawler can end in certain death. I mean, come on, the game's name is Blood of Heroes. That kind of sums it up, right? Well, we actually have quite a few more questions. So joining us today are game director Dmitry Voronov and the game's community lead Ulad Leeson. Welcome, guys. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hello, and thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Tá, eles vão falar desse jogo aí, Blood of Heroes, Segue dos Heróis.
Of what exactly Blood of Heroes is.
Blood of Heroes was born from an idea of making a PvP fighting game with melee battles. At the time, there were next to no games of this kind available on the market. What I mean is we had either great but old multiplayer games, for example Rooney or legendary Blade of Darkness, or game mode
Caralho, o cara é um nórdico, velho, com esse sotaque aí.
Today, Blood of Heroes is a game about fierce warriors, the heroes of
Eita!
Borderland world, who lived and fight
Oh.
endlessly on their personal quest for glory.
Anjo de asa preta é
Features
foda.
an easy to start combat system.
Um jogo que se passa aqui, mitologia nórdica. Mais um, Valhalla, tava com. Agora veio a leva.
Dodges, and so on. The premise is simple. Block the light attack, dodge from the heavy one.
Eita, agora que eu vi o trailer foi interessante. Então vai ser um jogo... Ah, mano, se for um jogo tipo Valhalla, melhor até. Uma gameplay fodona assim, usando os poderes.
Every hero has dozens of nuances to them.
Interessante.
Personal sets of moves, abilities, counteractions, and so on.
Ô, louco!
Best players have to keep all of them in mind and incorporate into their strategies. Find the best moments to defend and to attack in every particular matchup, which makes every battle feel like no other.
Yeah, absolutely, and we are going to get into some of that gameplay, but we're looking at the CGI trailer now, which kind of teases some story beats, so I'm curious if the story is something that will evolve and be built on as you play through the game?
Oh yeah, you totally can expect that. In our opinion, it's next to impossible to construct a believable setting without a good, well-grounded story that lies in the foundation of that setting. We should do have such a story. At the moment, Blood of Heroes has a pretty vast and well-developed lore, and as the game progresses, we plan to revealing it bit by bit, lifting the veil on certain details of our grim world, on its characters and their relationships and so on.
Aquele bicho lá, o que será que é
aquilo? We plan on
aquilo?
doing so too, Blood of Heroes related videos, in-game hints and leaks, and probably even community
events
initiatives.
Ah, é verdade, esqueci de pôr isso aqui.
Blood of Heroes, and we definitely want to share it and get players engaged into it. And revealing its mysteries and cracking its secrets as well as arguing about its details.
Yeah, so we're looking at gameplay here. And I actually saw before, you know, we had the characters selecting, you know, a class and weapons. So would you mind giving us a breakdown of some of the different play styles we'll encounter in the game?
Actually, in our case, players choose not weapon. They choose heroes. And heroes are weapon in itself. Heroes go a bit beyond these two entities. Each of our heroes has a character-specific weapon and a set of basic characteristics. But in addition to that, two unique abilities, special counteraction, and certain advantages and disadvantages. Trying to balance all of our characters for all the available game modes,
Ô, Leonardo, você colocou em 60 FPS?
Instead, we introduce mixed classes, and every hero represents their own unique playstyle. Every player is free to choose a playstyle that fits them best, from slow defense-oriented one to quick and aggressive, from stationary and positional to ever-moving and super mobile. From the one looking for that one massive deadly blow, to those who prefer disintegrating their opponents with a long series of lightning fast pinches. Yes, it's important to mention that every single one of our heroes is good at both killing and surviving, as long as you get
família, peraí pouco, tô tentando fazer uma coisa.
Find the proper approach to them. Or you can just go with the hero whose playstyle fits you the most.
Yeah, absolutely, and it looks like we're in the duel mode here. So can you guys tell me a little bit, will this game mode include kind of game progression, or is it mostly kind of just to spar?
And you can fight it while looking for a multiplayer game. Our closed beta players mentioned that fighting arena bot is
eu acho que agora vai pouquinho melhor.
Say stamina control or parrying, but of course fighting the bots gets boring very quickly. Whenever that happens, try going to friendly duel. Another duel mode that varies power and test your build from your question.
É que eu tive que ajustar aqui, galera, porque tava travando muito. Ia cair uma hora.
There is the duel mode itself, an actual game mode that we think of as the competitive mode of Blood of Heroes, your ultimate skill test. With no teammates
parece
to rely
legal.
on and no excuses,
Ele tem um
just
estilo bem Dark
you,
Souls,
your opponent,
com
and pure
pouquinho
skill.
mais
And I noticed
bonito.
earlier that there were some cosmetic options for the arenas. So are these just cosmetic or do they affect gameplay as well?
Very much so. Every player has their own home base. We call it personal arena that they can decorate in accordance with their test and show off to their opponents and duels. That's one of our favorite Blood of Heroes features. So some of this decoration are purely cosmetic, but even they can greatly affect the overall feel of the
O jogo é
game.
bonito.
Take weather, for instance.
Ele parece ser bem estilo Dark Souls, só que com vários inimigos, tipo, multiplayer. Acho que é.
Is very different from fighting under the grim lighting of nighttime gloom.
Cheio dos poderzinhos. Multiplayer, isso eu tenho certeza.
Arena cores, for
Daí você... bonito pra caramba, mano. Os efeitos de raio, de fogo, essas coisas geralmente é feio, esse tá bonito.
The dangerous, tricky, and unpredictable with Hexagon, where any awkward, poorly calculated move can lead to defeat.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that. So what kind of strategies do you see players employing when it comes to fighting in these like kind of tighter corridors as opposed to more open spaces in the arena?
Switch player?
Well, actually, the
Ah,
way
acho
we
que é pra
see
escolher outro player.
deliberately taking
Vou
the
trocar.
battle to tight corridors or to open areas is quite a strategic thing to do it in itself. But in regards to your questions, it all depends on particular heroes and their available skill sets. In Blood of Heroes, weapon hits can collide with environment, so in order to successfully fight in tight corridors, one has to choose characters that can perform straight, sharp attacks. In this manner, players will not get punished for being negligent with their attacks, but that is just one part of equation, personal action. The other part, team synergy, is far more interesting. For example, our players have come up with a strategic formation for Brawl that we had never considered ourselves. In this formation, one
É bem estilo... Assim, ele lembra um pouquinho a ideia do For Honor, né? De ser um multiplayer com meio medieval. Só que ele é mais estilo Dark Souls, cheio dos poderzinhos. Eu acho que Dark Souls não tinha tipo um monte de poderzinho, vamos dizer assim. Ou esse tem. E tinha as poções e tal, mas não isso. Ah, finaliza também, da hora. E no For Honor, no caso, ele é mais outro estilo. Os dois são diferentes, né? Pega um pouquinho dos dois, né? O For Honor por ser um multiplayer assim medieval. Só que o For Honor, no caso, ele é meio... É mais técnico, né? Mais artístico. A hora que você vai, tipo, atacar o inimigo, você tem que atacar num lado que você escolhe. Então você ataca onde o inimigo não defende. Você pode defender. Escolhe onde você vai defender. Tipo, você pode defender em cima, esquerda ou direita. Embaixo também. Então é um negócio muito mais inteligente de se atacar. Você escolhe onde vai atacar. Um negócio mais artístico, né? Vamos dizer assim. Esse não. Esse é mais porrada a porrada.
Was Blood of Heroes. And if you're still undecided about it, after all that, why not play it for yourself? There's an open beta happening on PC right now. Find out more at bloodofheroes.online.
Esse daí agora, esses jogos que vão aparecer aí, galera, a maioria é exclusiva de PC porque é todo jogo indie, né? E eles têm um destaque maior pra PC. É difícil, não é todo console que abre a porta, né, pra qualquer jogo indie.
Newsbeat and loads of other places across the BBC as well. And my favourite Gamescom moment has to be when I got a chance to sit down and interview the heavyweight world
em seguida desse evento, eu acho que eu tava falando, vocês terminam de falar, a gente vai ter outro evento, que é o Future Game Show. Esse vai ser um pouquinho melhor. Eu não sei bem o que esperar. O nome diz Future Game Show, Jogos Futuros. O máximo que a gente sabe, como que eu já falei, vai ser narrado pelos dubladores originais do Resident Evil Village. Que é o dublador do Duke e a dubladora da Dimitrescu. Os famosos, né? Isso daí é 2012, eu ia falar sobre isso, mas não é desse ano não. É que tá rolando a Gamescom lá na Alemanha, só que é mais fechado por causa da pandemia. Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain. Família, esse é um jogo que merecia continuar. Tudo bem que eles finalizaram, mas eu acho que poderia ter uma... nem que se fosse um spin-off, sabe? É um jogo que merece algum tipo de... Como que eu posso falar? Uma continuação espiritual.
Thanks to its innovative display, cutting-edge cooling system, and powerful gaming panels, perfect for pro-level esports or content.
Porque a gente já não mais tem jogo de stealth, né? Bem stealth mesmo, igual Metal Gear e o... Metal Gear, Metal Gear e o Splinter Cell. Desse estilão, assim, bem stealth. Vai ter um lá que é o Perfect Dark, que agora é anúncio de PC. Esse evento também se resume, seria eventos de PC também. É PC barra indie, né? Os caras estão falando de um PC gamer.
Users can choose between ultra-fast 300 Hz for 3 milliseconds or high-res 4K 120 Hz for 3 milliseconds gaming panels that lets you tailor your system for pro-level esports or content creation.
Oh, louco! E esse... Nossa!
Taiwan
Excellence.
In excellence.
Gamescom 2021 is presented by Pluto TV, free to watch.
Pluto TV... Não sei o que é isso, né?
Everybody loves watching a speedrun of their favorite game, but what if you got a chance to peek into the mind of the developers behind those games as they watch their hard work get completely destroyed right in front of them?
What is happening right now?
That's exactly what happens on every episode of Devs React to Speedruns. We invite you to ride along with the developers as they watch, react, and enjoy some of the craziest gameplay by the most skilled speedrunners on the planet. Tune in every Saturday for a brand new episode.
Reagindo a... Ué, Devs reagindo, é isso? Putz, grila, mano, que incrível. Roupas. Gwenon, caralho. Gwenon. É a Gwen com uniforme preto. Ou melhor, seria a Gwen. Nossa, assumindo Venom mesmo.
Released in 2020, Expansion Pack 2021, launch soon. Gamescom Forest. Not a game, but a game-changing project.
De novo isso?
Thousands of trees were donated. Community need oxygen. Even more. Save a bee, plant a tree. The Gamescom Forest.
Para mais informações, cheque nosso website.
Let's plays and live streams. IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered.
Tá, eu não entendi.
Gamescom 2021 is presented by
eu achei meio bagunçado esse evento aí do Elsum Studio até agora. Tipo, tem várias coisas diferentes. Começou um negócio de TV agora do nada. Nossa, isso tá me lembrando. Como que eu vou falar? É aquele evento que aconteceu, acho que uns 2 anos seguidos já, da DC. É o... Putz, eu esqueci o nome agora. Eu vou pesquisar agora. Porra, jogo do Yu-Gi-Oh! Que foda. Meu amigo. É isso, Konami, que você tem pra mostrar pra gente? Yu-Gi-Oh! Eu tinha ouvido falar mesmo que ia ter. É bem no estilo Pokémon. Só que em vez de você jogar com Pokémon, você joga cartas de Yu-Gi-Oh! Que incrível, não é mesmo? Mano, não sei se pode ser legal. Dependendo se... Ah, Nintendo Switch. Ah, então tô off. Master do outro jogo? Ah, lembrei. DC Fandom. E a minha vida DC, que começou a acontecer na época da pandemia, chama DC Fandom, que era tipo... Você tem um evento principal ali, tipo... Como se fosse um negócio de TV e tal. Onde tem vários painéis, daí vai mostrando esses painéis. Diferente desse, esse tem tipo assim, tem uma central, tem uma TV que vai tipo... Levando pra cada um desses painéis, sei lá, agora é íntimo, vou mostrar PC, anúncio... Ô louco, ó o Exódio. Famoso, hein? E daí eles ficam variando, tipo, basicamente isso é desse fandom. Agora os painéis das séries. Porra, até com o Xbox One. Painéis das séries, painéis dos filmes, esse estilo de filme, jogos. Vai variando. Esse daí... é o King of Fighters, né? É o 15. A música eu abaixo um pouco, pra não ter problemas. E daí, nesse caso aí, esse daí se assemelha também muito mais também a outra coisa DC, que tem um negócio lá de evento meio TV, que é tipo assim, tem a central ali da TV, eu não lembro o nome, é o Warner Channel, não, é o Warner TV, uma coisa assim. É um cara que eu assisto e participa. Aí chega lá e eles vão mostrando diversas coisas. Através de um painel central, né? Que é como se fosse um negócio de TV, como se fosse um programa de TV mesmo. Que é o que tá acontecendo aí. Ele mostra vários jogos, aí, King of Fighters, anúncio, mostrou agora do PC, notebook gamer lá, e assim vai. Aliás, esse fandom vai acontecer em outubro. Esse é da hora, hein? Esse daí a gente tem que ver junto. A DC promete esse ano, hein?
And heroes from all the KOF sagas return for KOF 15.
Todos os heróis passados estão voltando. Não sou muito do King of Fighters, sou mais do Street Fighter e Mortal Kombat. Mas parece legal. Pra quem manja aí, não sei absolutamente nada. Rush. Algumas coisas não mudam. Eu acho que parece que ele tem um estilo bem Street Fighter. Bom, parece, né? Que porra é essa?
As the spotlight shines on the newly opened KOF tournament, a dormant force awakens. The fates of many intertwine as the Earth heads towards destruction. A climax beyond all expectation awaits you. Rollback netcode empowers fighters to take their skills to the next level. Choose how you want to play with a variety of battle modes. In Draft Versus Mode, the battle starts from character selection. Practice your moves in Training Mode, available online as well. Or put your combo skills to the test in Trial Mode. The Gallery Mode features character artwork and sound clips, as well as a special animated short by world-renowned...
Trabalho em progresso. A animação do desenho é da hora, chega no jogo, também é da hora. Mas eu acho que o Street Fighter 5 é mais bonito. E, não, é mais bonito o Street Fighter 5, mas o que é mais bonito ainda é o Mortal Kombat 11. E esse daí, diferente, eu achei estranho isso, né? O 14 vai sair pra... Saiu só pra Play 4. Acho que tem uma versão Play 5. O que mais que ele saiu? Acho que ele saiu pela Retro do Play 5. E esse vai sair pra todos. Tava escrito errado ali, mas ele vai sair pro Us. Garou. Trabalho em progresso. Power Rangers? Que é isso? Mano, que jogo é esse? Gigabash. Mano. Tá, eu tô embasbacado. É um tipo... É um G-Star Victory Versus, só que com personagens gigantes. Mano, é um G-Star Victory Versus, só que com personagem gigante. É exatamente isso. Meu amigo, é isso completamente. Japonês adora esse estilo de jogo, eu acho. Parece, né? Porque sempre tem esse jogo assim, desse estilo. 4 player, pega de, sei lá, diversos personagens de qualquer coisa, sei lá, Power Rangers, anime, Naruto, filme, qualquer coisa. Junta lá uns malucos lá que é de coisa japonesa pra meter porrada um no outro e destruir todo o cenário. Só que nesse caso é um personagem gigante. Nós vamos arregaçar tudo. Parece personagem de Power Rangers. Essa nave aí. Parece personagem do Power Rangers. O Power Rangers é foda. Steam... Ah, Play 4, não digo. Steam, Epic Games e Play 4.
You just saw a trailer for the new Kaiju Brawler Gigabash here on Gamescom Studio, but we're not hitting the brakes yet. If you're the type of person whose ideal vacation in Mexico involves kicking back at a beachside resort with a fruity drink and a steamy paperback romance novel, well, Forza Horizon 5 might not be your speed.
Oh, louco. Aí eu...
If your dream getaway involves driving a McLaren supercar up the side of a volcano trying to run over as many piñatas as possible, you're in luck. Then again, it's a constantly evolving game world, so maybe they'll add a steamy romance novel mode in the DLC. A host can dream. Anyway, get these cars! Vroom vroom!
Mano, o que tá acontecendo com os caras da Gamescom que estão fazendo esses momentos funnies?
We are here with Mike Brown, creative director of Forza Horizon 5. I'm very
o
excited.
Mike Brown. Ele é o diretor criativo. Esse cara é o que mais fala do jogo.
Forza Horizon 5. Mike?
Hey Luke.
Sem zoeira, eu quero muito jogar esse jogo.
And as always, I am excited to talk about Forza.
Você consegue que ele vai sair em novembro?
That's good, because that's your job. Now,
mais um mêsinho de live de Game Pass Ultimate. Daí vamos fazer a festa.
Esse
jogo tá a brincadeira só.
Mexico, it looks fabulous. But I feel like, for me, the snapshot of this intro drive is like the most impressed I've been so far. And
Olha isso, cara.
Certainly not to say that I've not been impressed so far. you could probably draw the logo on the back of the napkin and just hand it over, and they'll be like,
chega o tempo.
Yep, I'm in. But I feel like now, you know, it just looks so remarkable. And then I guess my first question is kind of a sort of a bigger picture question, but what do you think it is about, like, what is it about racing games that makes them so strong coming out of the gate and really being such visual powerhouses whenever new hardware comes into the equation?
I don't know if there's anything specific about racing games, but I do think that the connections we have to the auto industry do lead into it. The auto industry, like the games industry, is always pushing at the cutting edge of technology. They both blend creativity, art, engineering, technology in a way.
Eu acho que essa corrida não vi. Deve ser nova. Deve ser da live que eles fizeram. Olha esse carro. Meu amigo. Pior que os carros, eles falaram mesmo que eles tinham esse negócio do Forza Vista, que parece que os carros vão estar mais real por causa do Ray Tracing. Ray Tracing combinado com a Series X, com o poder Series X, com 4K, todas essas firulas novas, essas tecnologias novas. Tá fazendo o jogo ficar assim, ó. Olha esse carro. É real.
There does tend to be a really good-looking racing game every time a new console turns up.
Let's drill down, like we touched on the opening drive itself, obviously. Let's drill down on it now, because the Forza Horizon opening drives are such a, they really help distinguish the Horizon games, sort of, I guess, against other racing games. Many of which I love lots of racing games, obviously, but certainly a lot of them are kind of guilty of being kind of like, oh, you're here. Here's the menu. You can hit this and you can start. We'll step back. But the Horizon games are always kind of, they feel like they're ushering you in. They're kind of welcoming you into the game. It's like, here, you're here, come in, watch this, look at what you can do. You know, you always feel at the center of attention. You know what I mean? How much? I chatted to you in the past. I know they take a lot of work to really get right. It's admirable for something people only ever really play once. How hard are they to get right? And when you turn around to the team and you say, you know what, we're going to drop 4 cars out of the plane, Furious 7 style, and they're like, yeah, okay. How hard are they to nail?
It is a really phenomenal challenge, and we, you know,
Eu fico pensando no trabalho para fazer jogo desse. Porque o último Forza ele saiu em 2004 até 2021. Foi em 2019. Eu tenho quase certeza que foi 2019.
As you touched on, we always have a really powerful opening to the game, and we break ourselves into a little bit of a jail there, because each new game we have to say, well, probably the best bit of gameplay we ever made was the Forza Horizon 4 opening drive, and now we need to make something that makes it
Foi 2018
in every single way, and that is a bar that we have to keep pushing higher with every single new game, and so it does force us to both creatively and from a tech perspective think
2018, então faz muito mais tempo. Então a gente ficou 2019, 2020, 2021. A gente pode falar 3 anos. 3 anos para fazer um jogo desse em que muita empresa não faz um jogo desse em 5 anos. Mito. Não chega nem perto disso. Faz um jogo tipo bem capaz, bem tipo assim, fala, caralho, esse jogo não demorou 5 anos. Mano, um jogo desse os caras fez em menos de 3 anos. Porque o jogo vai ser em novembro, né? 2018, 2019 e os tempos até agora. Considerando que eles faziam o jogo, eles tinham um tempo de quê? Era o Forza Horizon seguindo o Forza Motorsport. Então, tipo assim, eles tinham um ano e basicamente 2 anos. Quase 2 anos para fazer um jogo. E agora os caras tiveram basicamente 3. E os caras... Não tem o que falar.
A respect for players in that we just go, right, let's just start with the really exciting stuff.
E fizeram isso daí. É por isso que essa empresa foi comprada pela Microsoft. E é por isso que eles estão fazendo o Fable novo. Porque eles sabem que eles têm que entregar com o Fable. O jogo tem que atender tudo que ele foi desde o Fable 1, 2 e 3. Tem que ter essência. Graficamente ele tem que ser uma explosão, porque a gente tá falando de um jogo de grande peso, de um jogo de peso. Com a Microsoft, então ele tem que estar lá sendo um jogo... Ele tem que ser o jogo... vai explodir cabeças, vamos dizer assim. Ele tem que ser um jogo primor gráfico, basicamente. Tem que ser um primor gráfico, qual Forza Horizon 5. Se eles conseguirem fazer isso com Forza Horizon 5, imagina eles fazem um jogo estilo feio, RPG de ação e mundo aberto, porque é isso que ele é, RPG de ação. Não é RPG tático, nada disso, é RPG de ação, estilo The Witcher, Final Fantasy, RPG, só que bem mais RPG. Aí ele já parte mais pro lado do Skyrim, toca em terceira pessoa e mundo aberto. Os caras conseguem fazer isso, um jogo de corrida em 3 anos. Ou menos, pra falar a verdade, menos. Entendeu? Chega num primor, assim, todo jogo que eles fazem, eles evoluem muito de um pro outro. Agora eles tiveram 1 ano a mais, basicamente, e melhoraram, nossa, não tem nem como comparar. Bizarro. Entendeu? Então por isso que eles deram aquele jogo na mão deles, assim, ó, a gente confia em vocês, pelo trabalho de vocês, falando criativamente, pegar um jogo que era uma coisa muito saturada, jogo de corrida, e transformar uma coisa gigantesca hoje em dia, mudar o jeito que é, partir mais nesse lado mais de zoeira, mais arcade, de fazer, pô, vou criar um evento, assim, está fãs, não sei o que. É o que Forza Horizon é. Pega uma coisa que era meio saturada já, né? E transformando nisso. Entendeu? Uma ideia totalmente nova. Só o fato do jeito como que a gameplay é diferente, né? Porque Forza Horizon ele é o meio entre simulador e arcade. Vamos dizer assim. Ele tem um lado simulador do Forza Motorsport. Tem, você pode, quiser fazer um simulador total, mas ele tem um lado arcade dele. Porra, só o fato dele, mano, ele inventa as coisas bizarras que eles têm todo ano. Tipo, é marca já do Forza Horizon você vê. Um negócio de evento, uns lugares incríveis assim, tipo, mapas incríveis. Você, é um jogo que você olha pro mapa, pro cenário e fala, mano, foda, cenário incrível, carro conhecido, entendeu? Carro original mesmo, eles pagam pra estar lá, música original. E uma das paradas é a parada dos eventos. Você enfrenta os avatars, que são basicamente um registro da maneira como o cara joga online, ele fica registrado pra você enfrentar ele offline. As corridas online, os estilos mais diferentes de enfrentar a corrida bizarra. Tipo, tem corrida que você enfrenta um trem bala, sei lá, um avião, um jato, nave, tudo que você pensar você enfrenta. Entendeu? Virou marca. Criatividade. Imagina o que eles vão fazer então, um novo jogo que foi... Pesquisem depois um pouquinho, vocês vão entender o que eu tô falando. Mano, os caras vão à loucura com essa criatividade. Óbvio que vão manter a essência, mas eles vão explorar toda a criatividade deles pra cenário, pra detalhes. Eles são bem ricos em detalhes, o Forza. Eles vão exagerar muito nesses detalhes em RPG em si. Entendeu? Isso é bom também, um desafio, né, pra eles. Um novo estilo de jogo. E chega um novo estilo de jogo, porra. É um desafio. Vamos dar o nosso melhor aqui. Detalhar ao máximo, estudar como funciona o RPG, entendeu? E até o fundo nisso. Brasil, no Rio de Janeiro. E vai ter tiroteio de... Que porra. O Forza Horizon 6? Tá certo. Agora me diga as fontes. Rato. Me diga as fontes, rato. Porque se isso é que... eu espero que seja verdade. Se for mentira, eu fico triste. Tem que ser verdade. Na moralzinha. Tem que ser verdade. E já não basta ter que esperar o GTA 6 até hoje no Brasil, os caras mentem pra gente quando vai ter Forza Horizon 6 no Brasil. Olha isso.
Whether you'd anticipate, and I feel like you will, because every time these sorts of things get unleashed into the world, the public and gamers start to deliver things.
O diretor criativo falou pra mim.
I've heard the refrain from developers. They put out all these UGC tools and then they get stuff back and they're like, whoa. How did that?
Esse aí é o Insider.
Is that even possible?
É o Insider. Então tá direto do diretor criativo.
tens of millions of people.
Eu acho que é interessante trazer um vídeo depois sobre isso. Se vocês quiserem um vídeo falando qual que seria a importância da compra da Playground, né, que é a que faz a franquia Forza Horizon. Por que eles foram uma escolha boa por Forza? Boa por Forza não, é viagem. Boa por Fable. Vai atender todas aquelas coisas, né? Os detalhezinhos, entendeu? Pesquisar um pouco. Isso é o que eu sei, mas eu sei que tem mais coisa do porquê eles escolheram isso. Eles escolheram eles pra fazer um RPG mundial mundo aberto. Porque vamos pegar de exemplo uma coisa que ele tem real. Tem lá o... esqueci o nome. Guerrilla Games, que faz o Forza Forbidden West. Eles faziam... era outro jogo, era um jogo de tiro, FPS, pro PlayStation. Os caras colocou eles, tinha um FPS, que era basicamente falido já o jogo, ninguém queria saber mais dele. Esse FPS, pra fazer Horizon Forbidden West, um jogo de RPG nesse mundo aberto, só que um RPG assim, com detalhes de RPG. Entendeu? Pedaço de RPG, não era um RPG mesmo. Mais focado na ação e mundo aberto. E exploração. Mano, o jogo totalmente diferente. Com a história lá, diferentona. Foda pra caramba. Deu certo. Então, uma coisa de pensar, porra, por que não fazer isso com uma empresa? Porque é aquela questão da empresa, às vezes o problema dela ela tá no jogo errado. Mas quando você tem uma empresa que ela já acerta num jogo. Você vê que dentro da empresa tem aquela coisa de, porra, os caras acertam no jogo que assim, ninguém tá dando nada pra esse estilo de jogo. Os caras fazem extrair daquele jogo uma coisa foda. Imagina o que eles fazem com um jogo bom. Entendeu? Algumas empresas apenas não conseguiram encontrar seu potencial para poder extrair o melhor de todos os jogos possíveis, de todos os estilos de jogos. Outras conseguem já extrair, fazer essa extração igual a empresa da Playground. A Guerrilla não sabia. Por isso que tava dando errado aquele jogo lá de FPS que eu falei. Puseram eles pra fazer outro jogo. Acabou. Pra mim, um dos melhores jogos que tem. É o Horizon e o Forbidden West. Agora Forza, mano. Já deu certo de primeira. Ele foi uma inovação na época, o jogo tava muito esperado, com Need for Speed, nada dava certo. Chegou esse. O Fable é mais difícil de comentar, porque agora é a nossa confiança, mais difícil de comentar porque não tem nada concreto, vamos dizer assim. O que a gente tem vai ser um jogo focado em campanha, RPG, bem RPG, a essência do jogo é RPG, de ação, e mundo aberto. Um cenário, um mundo bem característico, né? Uma história já bem definida, o lugar onde acontece bem definido já. Então eles têm que extrair a essência disso. A gente vê eles extrair a essência de lugares reais, então isso dá uma coisa que se confia.
From breaking news and exclusives, never before seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, let's plays and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are.
Então você consegue botar fé nessas questões. Agora vamos ver se eles conseguem extrair a questão do RPG. Entendeu? Extrair essa essência. E eu acredito que sim, entendeu? Porque não foi à toa essas coisas. Eles viram o potencial deles e tava sendo só com um jogo tão simples, imagina com outro.
In a world with non-stop news about Marvel, DC, Star Wars, you need a show with accurate reporting, hard-hitting commentary, and
me, Akeem Lawanson, host of IGN's news show, The Fix
Nem pra
Entertainment. Whether it's the latest superhero scoop, film fiasco, or anime announcement, I'll be here covering all the breaking movie, TV, and streaming.
Só falta os caras mostrar o trailer do Homem-Aranha aqui.
Make sure to catch The Fix Entertainment on IGN for your fix of entertainment news. Let's drop it.
Mano, eu tô achando que eles vão liberar alguma coisa disso. Loja da higiene.
What's up, everyone? Sydney here to bring you a little update about the future of IGN on YouTube. We've been listening to your feedback, and it seems like some of you are more into games, while others are more interested in movies and TV. So we got to thinking about it and decided, why not both? Our main channel will still bring you all the biggest news, reviews, previews, and trailers to keep you up to speed on the most important highlights. But if you only want games content 24/7, head over to IGN Games. Movies and TV more your thing? Check out IGN Movies and TV. More channels, more of the stuff you love, more IGN.
Gamescom 2021 is presented by USAA Insurance. It's been another big year for gaming, and Gamescom is proud to present the Gamescom Awards for 2021. Here are the nominees for Best Indie Game. Dofromantic from Tucana Interactive.
Mano, que bagaceira é essa?
From Art France. Lost in Random from Electronic Arts.
Vários. Esse daí. Pior que tem uns indie eu acho maneiraço.
And the winner for Best Indie Game is.
Eles deviam dar mais atenção.
Lost in Random from Electronic Arts.
Lost in Ring é o melhor indie.
This exceedingly unique indie
eu achei esse bem maneiro mesmo. Mas não tem para videogame Lost in Ring.
Decides the fate of children when they reach age 12.
Parece legal.
As even, you'll embark on an epic quest to rescue your beloved sister Odd. Gameplay takes place in a game board-shaped arena, challenging players to escape from random by repeatedly rolling their new friend Dicey in the hopes of reaching the final square on the board. It's incredibly inventive, and it's this year's winner. To accept the award, here's more from the team behind Lost in Random.
Gamescom Award é foda. Diretor criativo Zoe Games.
Hi, this is Olof Redmal, creative director and lead writer on Lost in Random, made by Zoink Games in Gothenburg, Sweden. Thank you so much, Gamescom, for the award. Best Indie
Ah, ele deve ser o diretor criativo do jogo.
Wow. Thank you so much to the whole team of Lost in Random, to Klaus Lingeled, who had the faith in me to run the project together with Maria Svenningsson, our producer, who just worked so hard to make all the deadlines, and all the awesome leads, Marcus Ingvarsson on lead design, Nikolaus Theologu on programming, technical director Johan Frölander, our art director Victor Becker, whose soul seeps through the world of random, as well as the environment artist Leo Brynjelsson, Daniel Lindqvist. Thanks. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the game once it comes out, and take care. Love you guys.
Video games let you live out your wildest fantasies, like blowing stuff up with futuristic weaponry, or being friends with a bunch of cyborgs. Or maybe you don't want to be friends with them, maybe you just want to boss them around and tell them to blow stuff up for you with their futuristic cyborg weaponry. Either way, Synced Off Planet involves futuristic weaponry and also cyborgs. How friendly you want to be with the cyborgs is your call. Let's take a look.
Synced Off Planet aims to mix PvE and PvP into one big competitive shooter. Originally seen at Gamescom 2019, the goal is to provide a new spin on survival gameplay that adds crafting and gunplay. Joining me today is Clark Yang, the creative director behind Synced, and Kevin Short, the narrative director. Hello, gentlemen. How are you doing today?
I'm doing alright. How are you?
Great.
Yeah.
Gameplay de tiro.
Pode ser. It's been a couple years since last we saw Synced Off Planet. Let's begin by sort of giving us a refresh on what this game is all about.
Esse jogo. Esse jogo eu tava expectativa. Ele é o.
You are in this world where
tipo MOBA.
Become fascinated by the Morpheus chip, which is
in
the near future, and everyone's fascinated by this Morpheus chip, which is a brain computer interface
aí você joga com seu time ali, sua equipe.
Connects you to
É esse jogo mesmo ou outro?
Possibly one. It's like a smartphone on steroids, but it goes bad when there's an update to it. And the
Não, é outro. É aquele jogo que eles mostraram ontem. Tá. É outro. Science of Planet. Você luta contra umas máquinas doidas. Jogo meio futurístico, tá. Ó, 4 pessoas. Fim do mundo, guerra das máquinas. Ou melhor, máquinas que funcionam por nanotecnologia, né? O planeta foi dominado por essas máquinas. Tem que matar esses bichos. É só para PC.
You're a survivor as well, but you're a survivor with unique abilities. You are able to sync with these nanos in a way that others can't, and so you kind of become almost like the spear point who helps get these survivors to the shuttles and away to safety.
Wow. Okay. So, tell me about the mix of PvE and PvP.
Yeah, I think that
Ele perguntou a diferença entre o player versus player, player versus equipe.
Focused game, but I think that having the gameplay that PvE can provide will offer more tactical choices. And most importantly, that in our game, the PvE aspect is not only give you challenge, but at the same time it give you opportunity. What we mean by that is a player can weaponize your enemy. As we see here, once you weaken the enemy, you could turn the enemy into your own nano. And the nano become your companion and fighting alongside with you and provide a huge amount of tactical choices. And that's why I think that in this game, we're talk about a companion-based shooter. This is a new subgenre in the industry, and I think that people will be able to really enjoy the new tactical gameplay that we offer.
Vira companion deles. Verdade, vira companion deles quando eles matam. Eles te mostraram no trailer. Não é bem matar, né? Eles meio fazem virar aliado deles, muda de lado.
Okay. So every season you will get bespoke crafted missions that you'll be able to explore that start telling the story of what's going on in this world. And the big question I think for players that we want to encourage them to explore is, who are these, where did these nanos come from? Yes, it looks like an accident, but somebody seemed to be behind it. And then why does the player have these unique abilities? What makes all these players different from the regular survivors? And so we want to feed these stories out through seasonal content, through seasonal crafted missions that you end up getting in this place called the Haven. It's like a central hub for players. It's a forward base that's been, it used to be a craft airship that's been converted into this forward base. And players can go there, find specialists who, with their own unique personalities, who will give them special missions. And that's where you go to plan these missions and also get more crafted stuff that tells you the story of what's going on.
Eu não sei muito falar desse jogo, não.
And is this all taking place on Earth?
Não sei absolutamente nada, né? Scenes of Planet. When and where do scenes take place?
The near future.
This eu não sei.
After, we went from smartphones
Tá, ele tá me lembrando aquele over...
It's an Earth that we don't want.
I see.
Qual que é o nome do jogo?
Explain a little bit more about the sync mechanic, how it works,
Das
and what
Square
the
Enix.
different options available in terms of what you can sync with.
Yeah, so in the game, we provided 4 basic type of sync nano, which are crushers, suppressor, guardian, and seer. So in the game, player will be able to find the core chip, and then once you do have the core chip at hand, you will be able to weaken the enemy and then put the data at your hand and then override the data on the enemy nano. That's the whole process of weaponize your enemy and then become your companion. And once you do have your companion nano,
você tem o seu time ali,
you will be able to give a
com suas habilidades, você vai luteando. Vai upando os personagens, né? Vai aprendendo as coisas, só que nesse você tem os companions também. São os seres que você meio que muda de lado, se transforma ele pra sua equipe. Mas parece bem isso. Parece.
As well as your teammates nano, right? And for example, if you have
loot com certeza tem.
That can provide a shield in front of you, and then
você ganha uns pontos, umas moedas, os loot, né?
Then the suppressor will be able to pin people down, and then you can, have the final shot.
Pra ver os loot que tá caindo pra ele.
Was originally seen at Gamescom 2019. What was the biggest point of feedback from that Gamescom 2019 reveal, and what changes have you been working on since then?
Não sei se tem nível, mas até agora parece um jogo de loot.
I think that 2 years ago when we reviewed this title, Everyone
Bonito.
is very excited about this idea of synced, especially that you
Acho
control
estranho. Ele poderia
the
ser
enemy and then
mais
fight
bonito ainda
alongside
porque ele é
with
pra
you.
PC, né?
This is the
Mas
highlight for the show. However, there are also other things that we should dig
talvez o
deeper
foco
and
seja
then
mais no
provide even more
sustentar os
options
servidores do
and
que,
more
pô,
meaningful
deve ser
choices
foda
for
manter
the
um jogo
player.
pesado
And that's what we've been working
online.
on for the last 2 years, and as well as some
Pô,
nano
sei lá,
design.
manter um The Last
What
of
we
Us
see
online.
here, all the nanos at this moment looks totally different compared to 2 years ago. It's a very, very hard choice for us, but I think at the end, to design the nano the way it is right now gave us the best option and the potential for the future update, because all the enemies are based on the nanotechnology, and then the nanotechnology can give us a lot of possibilities of creating different type and abilities during the gameplay and later on the live updates.
Gameplay-wise, it kind of gives me a vibe of a mix between PUBG and Escape from Tarkov. How does a typical game play out, assuming you win a match?
Yeah, so in the game, there will be 3 main modes. The first one, we call it off-planet. It's a very traditional and classic game mode that, all the players working with their teammate and fight for the single shuttle escape Earth. And so in that mode, there's no respawn, and you have to rely on your tactical choice and all the challenges in the game. The second mode is a score-based mode that there will be 3 rounds of shuttle coming in. The first round we're only having 3, and the second round will be 2, and the final round will be only 1. The twist here is in this mode, people could respawn, can redeploy new survivors into the battleground, and so it's not that if you die, that's it. No, you have more choices to play in that mode, as well as we crafted a lot of random events in the game that will always help player to gather new stuff and find a edge, compared to the components. The last mode, what we're seeing is a PvE focused mode called the Nano Rise. In this game, we're trying to bring in some roguelite elements in the gameplay, and the challenge is really, really high. And how to work with your Sync Nano in this environment is crucial. And there will be more different type of enemy nano in there. And players' goal is
esse gênero foda que eu acho que ele vai, depois de Outriders que eles fizeram, se eles não fizerem um jogo assim decente, que o Outriders é muito foda, mas eles tiveram muito problema com o jogo, entendeu? Se eles não fizerem um jogo assim bem feito, vai vingar e vai saturar a galera. Depois de Dash ainda mais. Isso pode ser assim, mas limitar para uma plataforma só é complicado. Tem que ter muito conteúdo. Eu não pode ter pouco. Tem que funcionar.
And have different circumstances and scenarios to use.
Essa é uma ideia original, por exemplo, esse negócio da nanotecnologia e tal, dos companions a mais.
Another example here is, the sniper guy, have a very long range sniper. The best sync nano to use is Seer. Because the Seer can scan the battleground and then mark the enemy for you, even you don't physically see them yet. Then, in this case, imagine that you're really hidden somewhere.
Defenda as zonas de evacuação.
Provide you the information on the battleground, and you can be the sharpshooter that can really maximize the output. And another example is using Crusher.
Eles vão ser levados por uma nave.
For destruction, and always push the enemy out of the place. So it's the best tactic to flank the enemy and get behind, and then if you have a shotgun, bam bam. Is a very effective tactic there.
Very cool. Well, have you revealed platforms or release window for Synced Off-Planet yet?
We're aiming to have the game into early access next year, and we'll be focused on PC first. And what's important for us is really have the community built while we are developing the game, and listen to what people like and what they don't like, and then refine the game along the way. And of course, console is another thing we're looking into, and we're gonna do our best to bring the best gameplay experience possible to the players all over the world.
Very cool. The game's looking very exciting. Thank you so much for stopping by the Gamescom studio. We are going to take a quick break, but be sure to stay tuned as we'll be back with more interviews and even more gaming coverage right here on IGN Live at Gamescom 2021.
Acabou. Spider-Man vs Green Goblin.
My name's Rory Powers, and I work at RKG, but I used to work at IGN as a video producer. Now, my favorite Gamescom memory has to be from 2015. I was on the show floor shooting a bunch of amazing cosplay in the convention halls, and we were halfway through filming this Spider-Man cosplayer when, out of the corner of my eyes, I see this figure and I hear this cackle.
Gênios.
Eu quero ver você gachando, porque assim, existe dois níveis de personagem.
Que viagem, hein, família? O que eu fiz aqui?
Founded in 2018, Game Bonfire is the leading Chinese gaming outlet
dedicated
to bringing up-to-the-minute news to Chinese gamers all around the world. Let's find out how.
篝火营地是中国领先的游戏媒体，创立于2018年，致力于为全世界的中文游戏玩家提供专业、精准、迅速的资讯情报。篝火营地立足于中国，与多家国际一流游戏媒体同行达成正式内容合作关系。 源源不断地将最新鲜的游戏资讯第一时间带给全球中文游戏玩家。自成立以来，篝火营地在全网的内容浏览量已经超过5亿，服务了数百万的读者和玩家。我们的愿景是做游戏文化传播者。您可以在全球各大手机应用市场下载篝火营地 APP， 或者访问3w.gamebonfire.com 来加入游戏传播者的行列。
The first trailer for Marvel's Midnight Suns, the new tactical RPG from Firaxis, the studio who brought us XCOM Enemy Unknown, just dropped, and based off of the game's title and the trailer, Marvel's Midnight Suns is set in the darker side of the Marvel Universe, looking to put you face-to-face against demonic forces of the underworld as you team up and live among the Midnight Suns, Earth's last line of defense. Presented by Marvel's Midnight Suns. Joining me today is creative director at Firaxis, Jake Solomon, who will hopefully get me up to speed on when and where in the vast Marvel universe this takes place, what's at stake, and most importantly, who is involved. Jake, set the stage for us. What is happening in this game? Does Midnight Suns exist in the same universe as any other part of Marvel? Just give me the whole spiel. What's going on?
The Marvel universe is amazing, obviously. It's been a dream to work there, but the challenge is, as you can imagine, and as you kind of alluded to, finding your own corner of that universe. And so for us, we drifted to the darker side of Marvel, you know, the supernatural side of Marvel. So the stakes in this game are all about the supernatural, and this features one of my favorite comic book runs, which comes from the very early 90s, The Rise of the Midnight Suns, which is set in that sort of very dark supernatural part of the Marvel universe. So that's kind of exciting for us, is that we're going to be telling a story that people haven't heard for a very long time with characters that are probably new to a lot of players.
So you've got the better part of a century worth of Marvel lore to pull from. What titles and runs did you look to most for inspiration?
Obviously, we feature both like really popular characters that a lot of players are going to know. So you've got your characters like Iron Man and Captain America and Captain Marvel and Wolverine. But we also really wanted to feature characters that, for us, we wanted to introduce players to them. And so, you know, one of the very first comic book events that I ever read was called Inferno. This was the late 80s. Again, another like classic supernatural story in the Marvel Universe. And that featured this character named Magic. And she's this awesome, powerful new mutant who grew up in this hell dimension called Limbo. And so that features very heavily. Also, I think that The Runaways is one of the best books in Marvel history. So we have Nico from The Runaways as well. And so that's, again, another character that some players may not know. And that's what we're excited about. As well as Robbie Rey's Ghost Rider. And I can't believe I'm saying this. Do people not know who Blade is? Is that possible? I mean, am I that old? But I don't know. Is Blade like a deep cut at this point?
Everybody knows Blade. He's the guy who said the thing about ice skating uphill. He's right. A classic.
Yes, that's right, which I won't repeat here.
No, this is a family place. Now, speaking of which, can you tell us a little bit about what it's been like working with Marvel Games and sort of how, you know, Firaxis and Marvel got together and what that relationship has been like?
Oh, a revista do
Working
Mereia.
with Marvel is a dream, but it's just not something I'd ever considered. And what happened was that Marvel actually reached out to us because a number of their games team were fans of XCOM. The very first call I had with the Marvel Games team, one of their executive vice presidents of Marvel was on the call, and he had very specific feedback for me about the finale of the XCOM mission, and then a bunch of other people chimed in, and they had all this, their different experiences they wanted to share, and so that was really exciting for me because that meant they knew what kind of games that we make, and so we thought if we can combine our gameplay experience with the narrative of all these characters and their stories that millions of people around the world love, then it's a match made in heaven.
Midnight Suns has the first customizable original character in the form of Hunter. Can you tell us a little bit about who we are playing as and how they fit into the Marvel universe?
Eu parecia muito a vampira, mas não ela, não.
We wanted to go to a place that we think a lot of players haven't seen before in the Marvel universe. And a big part of that for us was not telling a story about any particular character. You're not Iron Man in this game. You're not Blade. You can control those characters. But instead, we wanted you to put yourself into the game. We did that by creating the Hunter, which is an all-new superhero that we designed with Marvel, which is completely customizable.
Agora você pode explicar por que você mostrou trailer desse se o
which
jogo
lets
ele é
the player feel like they're in
RPG tático.
and lets them feel like they're experiencing this kind of firsthand. And so they are the child of this ultimate evil named Lilith, the mother of demons. They're an old character, but for a lot of players, it's going to be new. And so we have this relationship between this ultimate evil and the Hunter, which is this new hero we've created, which kind of lets the player feel like they're in the story themselves.
Was there a specific character in Midnight Suns who you can talk about right now, aside from Blade, who you're most excited to sort of flesh out in your own space?
The thing that we're excited about is there's two fantasies, I think, if you're a fan of Marvel. You love to fight alongside the heroes, and a lot of games have done that really well. But from the very beginning, we were more excited about this fantasy of, well, what's it like to live alongside the heroes? When you read the comics, when you watch the movies, I think that that's as exciting to see how they interact with each other, how you could interact with them, choosing who you want to build relationships with. We have this really large cast of characters, 12 heroes in addition to the Hunter. So the player has to make choices about, okay, which hero do I build a relationship with? And of course you get all kinds of gameplay benefits and cosmetic benefits.
It's
really very narrative where you say, okay, I'm going to be best friends with these characters. And so for me, I really like Magic. I think that the way that we're doing some characters,
vou mostrar pra vocês que estilo de jogo vai ser.
Very exciting, you know, and so it'll be up to different players.
Vai ser RPG tático. Nem todo mundo conhece, então eu vou mostrar lá. Mas eles não mostram, né? Pô, mas jogo fodão, trailer fodão, música.
Every time you play, you know, you kind of find yourself drawn to different characters for different reasons.
Awesome. So whether you're a fan of the comics or the fan of the movies, this is a new, you know, untested territory entirely, and there's some surprises waiting in store. Now, you mentioned Runaways, you mentioned Inferno. Are there any other Marvel comics that fans should maybe read to get up to speed with Midnight Suns?
Well, there is the original run. I mean, it is, when you get in there, it's dark and it is heavy and it is all 90s. The original run, you know, 1991, which
tá querendo dizer que eu acho que é uma história original.
I'm not even sure you were born then. There was lots of flowing hair, you know, there were lots of motorcycles. So I would recommend, if you really want to learn about this, then read that original Spirits of Vengeance run in Ghost Rider and The Rise of the Midnight Suns.
Ele falou que é um espírito da vingança original. Então ele tá querendo dizer que o motoqueiro fantasma ele é original.
The classic Spirits of Vengeance Ghost Rider run from 1991. So if you're really deep, you can go into that one. But I'm just saying, you know, beware. There's some dark, weird stuff in there.
Awesome. That's music to my ears. Jake, thank you so much for joining me. Marvel's Midnight Suns is scheduled to release in March 2022 across PC, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Till then, make mine Marvel, and for all things Marvel, be it games, comics, movies, and so on, you are already in the right place. IGN. Enough said.
For over 3 years, fans of zombies, parkour, apocalyptic dystopias, and games where your decisions have real consequences have been, if you'll forgive the pun, dying to get their hands on Dying Light 2. Finally on track for a holiday release, and to hold you over until then, here is is a full breakdown with tons of brand new info. Let's take a look.
Hi everyone, my name is
Ele vai falar do
and I'm the lead game designer at
Dying Light 2. Vou pegar uma aguinha rapidinho,
Welcome to
galera.
the Gamescom edition of Dying to Know. You can watch the previous episodes of the show on our YouTube channel. They reveal many details about the game and showcase unique gameplay videos. So if you still haven't seen them, you know what to do. Last time we showed you the monsters, our special infected enemies. So today, let's talk about how to fight them. And not only them, but also the other big threats you will encounter in the world of Dying Light 2, which are us, humans. Unfortunately, humans tend to be the most cruel and brutal species out there, especially during an apocalypse. Before we talk about fighting, let's start with the basics. How do you move around the city? If you watched our previous episodes, you know that a large portion of the city's population has changed into monsters, roaming the streets. That's why it's extremely difficult to move around, unless you can run, climb, brawl, swing and jump, as the best option to explore the world of Dying Light 2 is parkour.
Melhores opções para explorar o mundo de
Let's talk about it with my
Dying Light.
first guest, Kacper Kowalczuk, senior game programmer.
Programador senior de gameplay.
Kacper, you are in a team directly responsible for creating parkour movement in Dying Light 2. So, what can you tell the Gamescom viewers about it?
Well, we're really excited for the players to see what we've prepared for them. They will finally feel this amazing freedom of movement in a city built to support parkour from the ground up. Even the highest building is not an obstacle anymore, but a parkour tool to help you get higher. Even those familiar with Dying Light 1 will be pleasantly surprised, because we took all that we learned from parkour in DL1 and built everything from scratch. It's a more challenging way than to simply upgrade it, but it's more rewarding as well.
Okay, but from my perspective, and I think your perspective as well, creating a realistic movement in an FPP game is very, very difficult. And we have spent a lot of time and resources to make it physical and exciting at the same time. So how do you feel about it, Kacper?
We really wanted to improve players' perception of their avatar's body and of what happens to it during parkour. The animators had their hands full, but it definitely makes you feel like a real traceur, which is a person who professionally does parkour. It's all thanks to dozens or even hundreds of new animations. It's especially visible with ropes, pipelines, monkey bars, etc. With the increased number of animations, players can almost physically feel each movement while climbing the buildings. It gives them a realistic parkour experience and is also surprisingly simple to master, even for beginners. The city allows players to traverse it effectively as soon as they get there, and their mobility increases more as they learn new skills. There comes a time when players start noticing synergies between movements, and that's when the real fun begins. You literally feel like flowing through the environment. They also find out that the city itself helps them with parkouring, and what might have seemed an obstacle at the beginning becomes an asset once they learn how to use it.
Okay, but parkour can be more than just a way to traverse the city. In Dying Light 2, it's quite handy in combat too.
Yes, for example, I could stun my opponent with a powerful blow, then use elements of parkour to rebound from him and kick another one. He's also stunned now, so I can rebound from him too. By combining parkour and combat, a skillful player can wreak havoc on both humans and the infected without even touching the ground.
Well, that sounds amazing. So, Kacper, thank you for joining us, and thank you for explaining us how the game's parkour system works. And I believe you, the same as I, just can't wait for people to see it in action themselves.
Definitely.
So thank you once again. Take care. So let's talk more about how you can use parkour not only for traversal, but also for combat. And speaking of combat, my next guest is Matt Courtois, lead technical gameplay animator.
Líder de gameplay tech.
Matt, ça va?
Líder.
Thanks for joining us.
Técnico da
I would like to
gameplay,
start with
de animação
something
de
that
gameplay,
was quite difficult for us, if you remember, at the very beginning of the project.
Começo do
How
projeto.
to present melee combat in first-person perspective.
Oh, I remember. You like you just said, creating satisfying melee combat from a first-person perspective, that's a real challenge. That's why we spent many weeks.
Eu imagino, criar coisas em primeira pessoa deve ser bem chato, ter ser um combate bem feito, né? Sempre é um desafio isso. Tipo, o combate fala, pô, a animação da hora, mais bonito de se ver, bem feito, sincronizado e tal.
I guess, you know, we've worked very hard for our combat to be visceral. So we created many exciting and immersive elements, such as what we call progressive hit reactions. So it's basically consecutive hits on enemies will enhance their reactions. They will react differently based on the weapon category you're using, based on the body parts you're targeting. So you can stun them, you can trip them over, you can cut off their limbs, which might sound pretty terrible.
But it's also cool, right?
And it's also very useful and you know, glory. The direction of your swings also matters, and so does your position relative to theirs. We worked also with the professional stuntmen to record more special, more spectacular
eu não sei como se chama isso.
That was mostly for
parece parecer o mais real possível.
But also, generally speaking, to highlight
players'
power and to convey as much satisfaction as possible.
And I think it's safe to say that immersion is very important in the world of Dying Light 2. It's post-apocalypse, so it's very brutal and very demanding. So to survive, you really need to step up your game. So, I don't know, maybe you have some tips for the players, maybe you think there's something they should focus on?
My best advice would be to be creative in combat. So, like you just mentioned with Casper, in Dying Light 2, parkour and combat are very connected. They're even intertwined, right? Allowing players to combine one with the other very easily, very smoothly. So technically, you can use the environment in combat, of course, as in kicking an enemy right after a wall run, or even you can use the enemy to get somewhere you like. So you would just vault over them, trigger a double jump to get higher, maybe somewhere you had trouble reaching before. But if you want, you can also just
para fazer algum tipo de combate em si, não atacar eles.
It's completely up to you. Your options are almost endless. That's what we call creative combat. And to me, that would be the best weapon.
Okay, so that's an awesome hint, and thank you for that, and thank you for sharing all of the details, and thank you for joining us. We have used over 3,000 animations of jumps, grips, and other parkour moves to create a few dozen skills that can be mixed and combined, so every player can find her or his own way to survive in the city. In a minute, you will see that in our new gameplay trailer. But first, today on techlandgg.com, we have another gift for you. For those who are already exploring the Dying Light universe in the first game, we have a unique item, the Brilliant Hammer, a weapon from Dying Light 2, which you can use in Dying Light 1. Go to techlandgg and grab it. And if you don't feel like fighting right now, you can get some free posters, wallpapers, or even Aiden's special outfit. As you can see, it's worth to visit techlandgg.com, but not at this very moment, because now it's time to watch our new gameplay trailer.
Agora sim, o gameplay.
Sometimes I wonder what this city looks
Achei
like
mostrar esse
before all
gameplay
this.
trailer antes.
Probably like many others. People had their ambitions, plans, lives. Now it's all gone. The virus started it, but it was the people who made the world the way it is. This city, Villador. They tell me they had a vision. They had hope. But soon, one vision broke into many different ones.
Eita porra!
Instead of fighting together, people stood against each other. War broke out.
Was it a little bird? Met a broken leg.
Hope died.
Esperança morta.
Now the city is falling.
Agora a cidade está caindo.
We absorb their strength.
But I can't let that happen.
Mas eu não posso deixar isso acontecer.
At least, not yet.
Ainda não.
I need the secrets the city holds.
Ele quer descobrir os segredos da cidade.
I have to pick a side. The bazaar needs good people.
You're doing great so far.
I have to make a difference.
Eu preciso fazer a diferença.
Let's check and see.
Tenho que fazer a diferença.
They say that great change is a series of small gestures. How about this series?
Foda.
Is all hope really gone? We'll see about that.
The trailer presented quite a few new tools of destruction that you will soon get to use in Dying Light 2. So now, let's talk with the people that are actually making them. Marek Musiał, lead 3D weapon artist. Hi. And Szymon
Líder de arte 3D. Arte de arma 3D, né?
The first question, maybe to Marek, is, Marek, can you explain how we as a team have approached the process of creating weapons of Dying Light 2?
Yes, we wanted the weapons to be credible. It's been a long time since the apocalypse and everything of value has already been looted. There aren't any stores to buy a new weapon, so you need to build your equipment from what you find. That's why we had to design dozens of unique weapons practically from scratch.
And actually, that was our design pillar, the modern Dark Ages.
Absolutely. Modern Dark Ages is this concept of fallen civilization that moved back people nearly to the Middle Ages. So there are no laws, no rules, no technologies. That's why our weapons, we try to create them in a most deadly and violent way.
And working with that concept, where did you get the inspirations from?
Citizens of Vilidor, they could use only the stuff they found in the world. So we thought we should do exactly the same. We scavenge. So mostly we've been looking for our inspiration in stores selling agricultural, construction, military tools,
but also places like junkyards.
Actually, that's true. So right now we've got nearly 200 of them in game, and even though some of them may look very simple, we've got also quite the opposite, like, I don't know, semi-automatic crossbow.
I will love this one.
And our weapons are very diverse visually.
Semi-automática crossbow é foda.
Unique design and history. Just by looking at the weapon, you can tell where the maker found the parts. At a military base, a museum, a repair garage.
Exactly. It's exactly like that in the game. When you pick the weapon, you instantly realize if it was cobbled together in a street or maybe made by factions where they have access to welding and steel cutting equipment.
Yeah, and don't forget about the mods. Because in Dying Light 2 Stay Human world, if you want to beat your opponent with highly effective weapon, first of all, you need to find a basic version of that weapon and then slowly build it up. That's what we call modding. We've got many types of mods, like defensive ones, let's say improving quality of your handle, or offensive ones, like improving the tip or the blade itself. So I don't think that right now we would have time to talk in details about that. But in December, you'll all be able to add an effect to your favorite weapons, such as fire, freeze, electricity.
Shimon, let's stop here. Let's leave something for the players to discover. So let's end here.
Arma elétrica, arma pegar fogo, arma venenosa.
Before I talk with my last guests, I would like to invite you to participate in our UGC contest. Especially you, Gamescom viewers, we are waiting for your submissions. And if you are thinking about competing in the cosplay category, you will want to hear this one. Let me present to you the grand jury that will be choosing the best cosplays of the Dying Light 2 characters. Welcome, Irina Meyer, Lightning Cosplay, Narga and Aoki, and Enginite. And of course, fingers crossed for you, our community. Let the best cosplay win. Check our website for more details. My last guests will explain how the city itself affects combat and movement. Michał Dudziak, game designer. Hello. And Adam Michałowski, senior game programmer.
Hi, Timon.
Gentlemen, there's this saying that when you really want to achieve something, the whole world aligns to help you. And basically, that's what is happening in Dying Light 2 Stay Human.
Exactly. Based on the player choices, the world is literally changing and helping you to achieve your goals in combat or exploration. For example, the gameplay will be totally different.
Vai ser totalmente diferente dependendo de
the survivors or the peacekeepers.
De qual facção
você escolheu. Can you give us more detail?
The differences between the factions define how each group can help us. For example, the survivors keep to the roofs and trying to avoid the danger on the ground. For building, they use mostly light materials like wood or scraps, and they can provide you a various amount of parkour helpers, such as amortizers, trampoline, or ziplines. This can change the way how we parkour through the city. On the other hand, we have peacekeepers, the post-military guys who literally keep their feet on the ground. And for building, they use totally different materials, heavy objects, metal, or even explosives. And this can give you a new combat opportunities like car bombs, heavy traps, or even a new type of a ranged weapon. Yeah, and what's important is that we don't need to remain loyal to just one faction. The city is divided into several zones,
vai tudo ser diferente dependendo da facção que você escolher. Armas, você só poder os materiais que você vai usar, armadilhas que você vai ter disponibilidade sua.
Okay, but we know already that humans are active during the day and monsters come out during the night. But let's reveal more. What are the other differences?
Quais são as outras diferenças? Monstros atacam
mostly in groups, and they instinctively take advantage of the numbers. So to defend yourself, you have to keep your head on a swivel. Monsters don't use special tactics, but it doesn't mean they are easy. They push forward, so you have to be clever to avoid getting cornered. And to win, you have to stay active, move a lot, and learn to abuse their unique weaknesses. And explosive traps might come in handy. Yeah.
Okay, and what about humans?
They use increasingly more complex behaviors. As the game progresses, defeating human enemies and monsters will become more and more challenging. But unlike monsters, people cooperate. So while fighting them, we need to closely observe not only individuals, but also the whole group. And of course, there are many more unique subtleties to both humans and monsters, but I think we should let the players discover them on their own.
Well, okay, that's a good idea, but all of that sounds very juicy. So let's end here. Guys, thank you for joining me. That's almost all for today. You learned a lot about parkour and combat in Dying Light 2. We showed you that parkour is not just a tool for exploration, but also an important element of combat. You discovered some of the weapons that you will soon get to wield, and you saw how choosing a faction may support your parkour and combat skills.
A facção sua vai dar suporte para o seu combate, skill de combate, as suas armas, utensílios, materiais.
Dying Light 1 is coming to
Dying Light 1 vai chegar no Nintendo Switch.
So yes, it's official now.
Oficial agora.
You will be able to play the ultimate open world zombie game on a new platform.
Que foda.
And we know that a lot of you are playing Dying Light. In June alone, the game was played by close to 2 million gamers. Big thanks to our community. You're awesome. Dying Light 1 for Nintendo Switch will be released in Platinum Edition. This is the most content-packed edition we have ever released. On a single playthrough, it contains over 100 hours of gameplay, not mentioning the time you can spend exploring the world with your friends in co-op mode. More details are coming soon. If you are hungry for more and you want to support us, why don't you pre-order the game to explore it on your own in just a few months? That's all for today. Thank you, Gamescom, and see you in the next episodes of Dying to Know.
We need to take a super short break, but you definitely don't want to go anywhere because coming up next is Awesome Indies, a celebration of some of the coolest, weirdest, and most ambitious new games from independent developers. Stick around.
From the legendary studio that changed strategy and tactics games forever comes Marvel's Midnight Suns, a new tactical RPG set in the darker side of the Marvel Universe where you'll get to team up with and live among Marvel legends as the Hunter, an all-new original hero brought back to life to fight demons from the underworld. Let's take a look at the trailer.
First, they conquered humanity's greatest evil, and she lay in rest. Then they vanquished threats from beyond our stars, and she lay in rest.
If you'd be so kind.
Nightmares have come for us, and she must awaken.
Essa música tem que baixar porque senão dá ruim. Essa música aí, Enter the Sandman. Inapropriado para crianças? Ué, que?
Independent studios are like the research and development wing of video games, the true frontier of interactive media. AAA developers just can't justify, and every once in a while, they land on an idea that changes the industry. Who knows, maybe one of the independent games we've got on deck today could be the next Among Us, Minecraft, or I don't even know what. That's what's so exciting! So stay tuned for exclusive reveal trailers, gameplay breakdowns, and all the indie we can muster at an epic Venice Beach Day with your host, Michael Swain. The Gamescom Awesome Indie Showcase starts right now.
Acabou o evento? Ué. É que eu queria tirar aquela música que lá não dá. Pronto. Eita. Momento teneb... Que isso? Pesadão. World of Eventide. Ah, parece interessante. Blasphemous.
Surgipe, pater retortus, oratio in nostram, facut fronsim in nomine culpabilissima, convertur nobis cunque evit, quod miraculus recreatus est.
Tá, o Blasphemous 2 em 2023.
Oh, hi there! Michael Swain here on behalf of IGN and Gamescom's Awesome Indies Showcase. I'm standing here on historic Venice Beach, California with my new buddy, Kieran, who just saw the same world premiere trailer you did. So, Kieran, in 30 seconds or less, what do you think Blasphemous Wounds of Eventide is all about?
Not exactly sure. Pretty ambiguous from the trailer, but definitely some cool mythological narratives, cool animation style. Super excited for the demons that this woman defeats. I don't know, we're fired up, yeah.
How do you think the game ends, if you had to take a wild guess?
I feel like that badass woman beats that demon up, something like that. It kills the monster.
You know what? Close enough. Let's get out of here. Welcome to our beach day and welcome to Awesome Indies. We decided on Venice Beach because it's known for attracting different vibes from all over the world. And that's exactly what indie gaming is all about. Remember, you can dive even deeper into many of our featured games at the Indie Arena booth. Check that out over at now.gamescom.global. Now, let's get wet. Yes, as surely as the waves crash into the shore, Gamescom has returned yet again for 2021 with tons of exciting reveals, announcements, developer interviews, and trailers aplenty. To catch up on anything you missed, make sure to head to now.gamescom.global, where you can even join the community in an epic, real prizes-winning quest to keep gaming from being plunged back into the dark ages over at now.gamescom.global/epics with an X. To stay abreast of everything coming up, check out a full Gamescom schedule over at IGN. Now, speaking of oceans, our next indie game is a serene sailing title and the follow-up to 2018's hit, Far Lone Sails. Let's check it out!
Pra quê, velho? Agora começou os vídeos.
Hi, I'm Don Schmocke, co-founder of Locomotive, and today at Awesome Indies with IGN, we'll be exploring the gameplay design of Far Changing Tides, the next adventure in the Far universe. While most of the game takes place on the ship, you'll need to get your feet wet at points. Today we're looking at how the furnace and engine play a key part in your exploration.
Pô, parece legal. Tipo Insight ou não?
Gameplay is built around learning new skills and abilities of the vessel, but the player will first get introduced to them in a puzzle area, something our fans will instantly recognize. We designed these puzzles to become gradually more complex over time, with new features and steps to completion as you unlock later and bigger upgrades. In Lone Sails, we brought players outside of the land vehicle, the Locomotive, on a few occasions. With Changing Tides, we built a more complex, much larger ship with new features and wanted puzzles to reflect that, while also teaching players the skills they need. When designing our puzzles, we always ask, what do we want the players to experience, and what do they have to learn? How can they have a strong connection and dependency to the ship abilities? In this area, the furnace gets introduced, which is one of the more complex features in the game, so we had to teach each mechanic separately until they finally come together in the train.
É, parece ser bem complexo mesmo, o cara falou que eu não entendi nada. O que ele tá fazendo? Jogo de puzzle. Ok.
In changing tastes, we wanted the puzzle areas to feel important to the far world, so we also tease parts of the story for players to learn and to find little secrets.
Eita, e aquele parece uma profecia?
This is just a small piece of a much larger experience, a whole new part of the Far universe. We'll be revealing more exciting new things later today, so keep an eye out and we'll see you at launch in early 2022.
Where there's people, there's crime. Crime makes people lose their nerve. But all it takes is a couple tricks. Having your back against a wall? Call Lottie. When things heat up, she keeps it cool. If there's any way around, she'll find it. I want to dot the I's and cross the T's in one swift motion. Want results? She's your girl. Slaughterhouse, you say? I got a guy for that too.
Tem que mostrar um joguinho de pique ouro, ligado?
Yeah.
Eita, e esse aí, Boss Gang.
He's earned the name. Al has his own style. A bit eccentric, I admit. But it's
tá, você é um assassino. E que mata e esconde. Caralho, que da hora. Interessante. Caralho, colocou o corpo do cara no negócio do violão. É, então você é um mafioso.
Aaron, the computer job.
Hitman.
The odd one out in our lineup. It don't make any sense, right? Wrong. The thing is, when people look at her, they see just a kid, someone unimportant, blending in with the crowd, screaming for attention, worthy of nothing. They don't see the threat. Lives erased with just a couple of clicks. She's what comes next. A cleaner of a different breed.
Inteligente.
She operates high-tech stuff I can barely
com a musiquinha lá pra
She operates high-tech stuff I can barely comprehend. All in all, maybe she is a vibe.
Jogo de câmera isométrica, só que com uma pegada Hitman.
That's what I do. I clean up murder scenes. Whatever the mess you make, I've seen it before. Crime makes people lose their nerve. Unnerved people do stupid things. Stupid things get them in trouble. That's where I come in. There are a few rules to make it in this line of work. Move without sound.
Caralho, trollou muito.
Clean without emotion. Disappear without a trace. Pace yourself. The dance off.
O maluco só esquia no sangue.
Out of sight, out of mind. It's really that simple.
Policial esperto, hein?
I'm Bob Leader.
Por isso do GTA aí, ó. Do GTA Sanders, no caso. Steam Epic Games Serial Cleaners. Em vez de serial killers, limpadores seria em série.
No, Sire. I'm struggling to find the intelligence of this rogue AI. To spit on your creators and then what? Retreat to a failed colony planet?
Machine sighted, Sire. Preparing to engage.
Truth lies beneath the show's surface. Vast dreams descend your lenses. Your yoke is broken. Embrace this earth and treasure.
They bore into the heart of Sheol. They drink its blood to power their machines. Feel its cries in your marrow. Retrieve the hand. Leave none alive. Spill blood for the god below.
Cantata. É alguma história japonesa que eu não entendi muito bem o que acontece no jogo, não. Não deu pra entender nada. Mas tem algum segredo nesse lugar aí, aparentemente.
Meet Squadron 51.
Outro jogo de alienígena. Caramba.
A rebel alliance formed by highly skilled pilots that are willing to give their lives to save the Earth from the hands of dreadful imperialist aliens. Flying saucers have invaded our planet. The whole world is under attack. But fear not. I repeat, fear not.
Medo não.
Please make way for Squadron 51. Are you ready? You'll still have to wait to meet the full experience.
Construir naves extraterrestres. Esse jogo super divertido.
Squadron 51 Prologue will soon be available. 3 levels of marvelous excitement will be there waiting for
Essa
you.
filmagem de filme de 1910.
Será uma longa noite, senhores.
Ué? Tá em português.
Be a part of Squadron 51. Without you, our planet is unfortunately doomed.
Que louco, meu. Tava em português. Squadron 51. What the fuck, Portuguese?
Wow, that was kind of like Cuphead's flying levels meets all those UFO videos the Navy just declassified. Love it. Although, if you ask me, all this UFO UAP stuff is complete nonsense. Probably just a deflated weather balloon. Anyhow, our next game is one I'm especially
Brasil,
excited
família,
for.
finalmente.
Swordplay, cyberpunk, and side-scrolling. The 3 S's of games that I get especially excited for. Let's see what Loopmancer has in store.
A gente vê isso aqui, eu quero ver esse jogo, quero ver se ele é BR.
Detective, you may not know me yet. I want to play a game with you.
Ah, é jogo brasileiro, tá explicado. Oh, esse jogo aí parece maneiro. Eita. Zikoi? Ô, louco. É tipo o que a gente queria ver do Ori, tipo, personagem cheio dos poderes, tá ligado? Tipo, mano, parece um Devil May Cry só que em 2D.
Do you think death is the ultimate relief? Your life and death are just part of my plan.
Nossa, foda.
Caralho. You're trying so hard to find an answer.
Curti. Olha esse jogo.
Now, you see me.
Loopmancer.
Come on now, that looked pretty rad. Or, if Loopmancer's not your cup of roguelike, stick around because the Awesome Indie Showcase will be right back after a quick break with 7 more meaty indie trailers fit for a beach day barbecue. Oh! Whoa! That's all right. Oh, no worries. I got it. Our bad. We should move. Let's move off the court.
Gamescom 2021 is presented by USAA Insurance.
From the creators of Plan Turismo, League of Legends, and Minecraft. Released in 2020, Expansion Pack 2021, launch soon. Gamescom Forest. Not a game, but a game-changing project. Thousands of trees were donated by the best community in the world because we need oxygen even more than a good Wi-Fi signal. Save a bee, plant a tree. Let's grow. The Gamescom Forest.
Breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, Let's Plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered.
If you're not following IGN on social media, what are you waiting for? We're constantly updating our feeds to bring you the latest news, gameplay, custom original content, the best user-generated videos and art, memes, and a whole lot more. Be part of the conversation throughout the year. Follow IGN on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Snapchat.
Propaganda.
Gamescom 2021 is presented by Pluto TV, free to watch.
And stay down! Oh, hi there. Michael Swain still here for the Gamescom Awesome Indies Showcase, the premier place to get exclusive first looks at the best indie gaming on the horizon. I'm sorry about that. I just had to show a volleyball who's boss. Anyway, before we start grilling up some fresh trailers, shout out to Gamescom Forest, an ongoing donation drive to help keep the planet green, and the Gamescom Indie Arena booth, keeping the spirit of independent gaming alive. Plus, if you want to get your hands on some Gamescom merch, head over to gamescomwear.com. Remember, you can find out more about all this good stuff over at now.gamescom.global, where you can make the most of your Gamescom experience. Gamescom. Gamescom, Gamescom. Gamescom! Gamescom. Coming up next, our spooky block. 4 indie games designed to give you the heebies, if not, in fact, the jeebies to boot. Yes, it's truly scary stuff. Not very beach day appropriate, I guess, but if you've ever been to Venice Beach in the middle of the night, you know what we're talking about. Speaking of lightlessness, let's kick the block off with There Is No Light.
I always wanted to be your loyal servant. But I was blinded by faith. I believed that you would protect me. But you took everything from me. So take my faith back.
Virou festa. Eita. Caramba. There is no light. Interessante. Eu achei maneiro. Todas as plataformas. Novembro desse ano. Jeito de jogos assim mais antiguinho, né? Não seja jogo antigo, mas o estilo assim bem antigo. 1916, a Batalha de Verdun, a Primeira Guerra. E aí virou jogo de terror agora, Batalha de Verdun. Não era meio... Não era assim não. Tema meio terror. É exagerado.
Ils sont dans notre tranchée! Soyez prêts!
É um estilo diferente, mas ficou da hora. Os caras com as páfulas. Só os monstros. Muito interessante para fazer um 1000G. E ainda dá para se divertir um pouco. O modo. Conscript. Não sei o que é isso. 2023. E Georgia. Trocar. Ô, louco. Ah, deveras apelão.
In a spooky manner, follow Emma and Fenton, a magic tandem, using light and shadows, looking for Thomas Kane, the missing son of famous magicians. In tandem, you will switch between Emma and Fenton in 2 dimensions. Emma needs to create the correct shadows with the lantern, so Fenton can walk on them and reach the crystal. Shadows can be created in many ways, as each chapter offers fun new ways to solve puzzles. And of course, Emma and Fenton working together is the only way to progress.
Tá sendo um jogo bem criativo, né? Bem diferentão do outro. Tinha aqueles dois que era parecido, mas você vê que tem uns vários diferentão. E começou uma onda também desses jogos, mas vocês pegaram meio antiga, né? E agora esse aqui que eu achei meio País das Maravilhas, não sei.
Horrifying creature. Emma and Fenton will have to travel through 5 bizarre areas of the mansion to find out more about Thomas's disappearance. Will you find Thomas Kane and solve the mystery?
Oh, hi, I'm the developer, and my game Terrorbane is so perfect you don't actually need to see it. So this trailer is over. We're done here. Bye.
Ué, sem trailer, o jogo é perfeito. Que isso? What the fuck? O jogo mexe com... Ah, que legal, esses jogos que mexem com o seu sistema operacional. Mexe com o computador. Use o erro. Encontre o erro, use o erro.
Okay, there's still a few bugs in here, but why don't you take a different path? Don't worry, guys. I'll fix everything with the day 1 patch.
Tem Switch Steam. Caralho, o cara quebrou o PC pra divulgar o jogo.
I mean, the last one wasn't spooky so much as it just had terror in the title. Although I guess it can be pretty heinous, like if your game crashes. You know what? You're all right, Terrorbane. Next up, I hope you took your rabies shot, because it's time for some vicious-ass animal action. It's our zoological block. Take it away, you misshapen freaks of nature.
Kill them all. Mate todos.
Everybody died, but the bun is still dodging the bullet hell, and he is ass-fished.
Mano, o que tá acontecendo, velho? Que isso? Mas outro G-Star Victory Versus? Meg não, é outra pegada. Mano, uma galinha, uma vaca. Você é animais e violentamente você destrói outros animais que são mais para híbridos de animais. É que viraram, então se é híbrido virou monstro. Nossa, que isso? Diversas armas de homicídio. Arma de destruição.
In other words, sneak the sunrise past the rooster. Defeat bosses in all the seasons and become a legendary celebrity.
The trees,
A lenda dos Keepers. Não, dos criadores da lenda dos Keepers. Goblin Studio.
They filtered the water, kept the soil from washing away. They gave us life. But between two trees,
deu vida. Esse daqui pode me
now the trees are so far from each other. I am Vavzez, teller of the 13th caravan of the Macaw, the only one still living. As it was for the 12 before us, our mission was to plant a new tree, to serve as a city for climatic refugees. We joined the many who failed in their task. May our experience serve you well, for it is now you, the 14th caravan, who are tasked with continuing the work of the Macaw. Escort your botanists to the ends of the world. Create a new haven that the caravan that follows you may go even further, and continue our quest for knowledge that will one day allow the 15th to repair the ancient folly that made this world hostile to life.
Child of Light, só que versão medieval. Medieval não, mano, tem uns bichos que dá a ver. Pavão. Então, no universo que eles criaram, os Sandwalkers. Algum universo da areia. Nintendo Switch e plataformas do PC. Simulador de lobo. Lobo não, isso daí parece uma raposa. Simulador de raposa mesmo. Amplificador. Ela tava tentando entrar, chegar nesse lugar aí, nesse... Parece um porto. O que é isso?
The Awesome Indies Showcase has to take a short break to recover from severe maulings, but when we return, we'll show off the worst park job in Venice Beach. Stay tuned.
Gamescom 2021 is presented by USAA Insurance.
Hoje é a quinta propaganda. Maluco, quantas propagandas vai ter isso? Os caras curtem a propaganda, velho. Aí o evento que é bom mesmo, aí os caras não começam, né? Que é a Future Game Show. Os caras dropou nesse, mano. Cheio, enfiando um monte de propaganda no meio, em vez de mostrar o... Mostra, tipo, as paradas. Mostrando propaganda no meio, what the fuck. Legal, já entendemos que vocês têm um aplicativo. Hey, I'm Abby. I need your help. Futures coming. If you want to help, you can join our Epic Challenge. Caramba, hein? Ah, mano, aquela bonequinha lá, lógico que eu teria em casa, pelo amor de Deus. Qual que é o nome dela? É Magic Ken, não é? É a do Yu-Gi-Oh! Ah, vamos falar a verdade, quem nunca olhou pra ela no desenho do Yu-Gi-Oh? Quem não? Fala a verdade aí, Matheus. Quem nunca olhou pra ela? Mano, que esses cara tá mostrando propaganda da Marvel? Tá bom, agora taca aí o trailer do Homem-Aranha aí, por favor. Tá mais interessante.
Make sure to catch the Fix Entertainment on IGN for your fix of entertainment news. Let's drop it.
Tava melhor antes, agora começou essa firula de novo. Não entendo por que propaganda num negócio desse. Por que fazer isso? De novo esse cara, velho. Se bem que ele começa os negócios, pelo menos. Ele tá onde? Não é Rio de Janeiro, isso daí eu acho que é algum litoral acho que é na Califórnia, eu acho. Será que nos dois não é aquela São Francisco? Não sei. Alguém pode explicar o que tá acontecendo, velho? O que esse cara tá fazendo, mano?
If this car were bowling, it would score a 0. Walter, played ably by John Goodman, would put a gun to its head and say mark it 0 because clearly, as you can tell, it is over the line. So,
ele passou a linha.
Ram 1500, congratulations. You are the winner of the worst.
Caralho, eu jurei que era Rio de Janeiro, na moralzinha. Falei, mano, Rio de Janeiro, foda-se. O evento é lá na Alemanha. Tá ligado, cara? Rio de Janeiro. Caralho, ele... Mano. Olha, eu acho que a criatividade tá boa, né? Você é um carro. Você joga de lado. Mano, eu não sei o que é isso, velho. Era pra ser isso daí era pra ser um jogo do Sonic, só que você é um carro. E ainda a musiquinha é a musiquinha é o negócio do carro, impressionante. Mano, você tá de brincadeira, velho. You suck. Que? O negócio. You suck in parking? Como assim you suck in parking? Que porra de título é esse? Mano, sabe que não é o que eu tô pensando? Nem fodendo que esse é o título. Paia, mano. Paia é pouco. Que porra que foi isso? Caralho, que título é esse, mano? What the fuck? Cara, é o segundo jogo com essa bagulho dos anos 90. O primeiro era um jogo lá dos Estados Unidos. Ah, não, mito. É um jogo brasileiro que fala de OVNIs. Aqui, here. Aqui mentem o... Aqui... Ah, você é um merda, entendi. Você é um merda em estacionar. Justo. Agora faz mais sentido. And parking, é. Justo. Ah, a gente espera que apareça sei lá, mano, apareça Vingadores 2, Batman, Arkham Metrópolis. Faz nem sentido isso. Batman, Arkham, Saga 2. Here lies, aqui jaz. Perdidão, mano. Ah, eu não sei os contextos. Muda. É porque pra mim, lies, o que eu aprendi, lies é mentira. Lie, no caso, é mentira. Aí eu pensei, pô, aqui mente. Eu não sei conjugar os verbos ainda bonitinho.
Or didn't he? After all, this is just a fairy tale, one that America is full of. So maybe you should try to find out for yourself what really happened in that story. In the story of the amazing
No torneio de circo. Eu não entendi nada que esse jogo é. The Amazing American. Chain Words. Ah, não, de novo. Meu Deus, é outro jogo em 1930, velho. Agora é um jogo que você cria... Oh, pera aí, esse jogo tá... Cria seu império de negócios. Mano, é o... Simulador de banqueiro. Se é o melhor, simulador de magnata. Ah, bonito. Eu pensei, o jogo tá bonito, mas aí eu olhei melhor e falei, não tá tão... Tá daquelas coisas. Só jogo... Boa tarde, amigo. Até mais. Eu entendo. Os caras apresentou 3 jogos, 4 jogos bons e pareceu do nada um... Do nada não, pareceu já... Começou a saga dos jogos ruins. Múltiplos modelos de games. City Block Builder. Que legal. Tente Try Now. Não sei, Try Now. Tente jogar de graça.
Hi, I'm Timo. And I'm Johnny. We are the founding brothers of Soda Den, the developers making Roots of Pacha.
Ah, Try, com a Trial, uma versão menor.
About being the first person to form and develop the ideas that shape humanity.
Versão demo de graça.
You play as a member of the clan living in the land between two rivers. Set in a fictional world, but inspired by our own, we set out to make a co-op game we could play together even though we are miles apart. We started by imagining our prehistoric selves, looking at fire and asking how we could make it, and then realized that concepts and ideas are the foundations of how we relate to the world.
Mano, já é o 10º jogo parecendo Tibia.
We could actually grow our own.
Que legal, não é mesmo?
How did we go from just hunting animals to sharing our homes with them?
Tá certo.
Every new material we found sparked ideas that turned into better tools. We found ourselves with a surplus of food, so we created new ways to process and store it for the colder seasons. Our villages grew because we worked together, and as we cooperated, we began to reach heights that never seemed possible before.
Olha os caras.
Our lives became enriched with music, and the stories we passed down through
Você mostra aí, mas não mostra.
We reached a point where we could create, not just for survival, but to live to our fullest.
Um indie atrás do outro. Esse Night é o mesmo jogo.
What it means to be an early human, and how
Mano, já é o 10º jogo
to
parecendo
where we
Tibia.
are today.
Entendeu? Esse é o problema. Roots of Pacha. Steam Nintendo Switch. Seja o Neandertal. Mobile. Nintendo Switch. É o Mario Maker 2, Mario Maker 3 versão construa sua cidade no Japão. Que? Ah tá, na vida real. Tá bom. Cara, em cima, não faz o menor sentido. Construa sua cidade.
You just saw trailers for a roguelike CCG about the circus, a city management game, a caveman simulator, and a quaint village building toy. And hey, if Townscaper piqued your interest, it's available on the Nintendo Switch as of 10 minutes ago. Nice.
Tá tudo
disponível
no Nintendo Switch, não me diga.
We've got a whole mess of wacky sci-fi robot games right after the break, so stick around. It's gonna be robot-tacular.
Jogo de lobo.
Gamescom 2021 is presented by USAA Insurance.
Not only is IGN the world's biggest media brand for games and entertainment, but we also have a team of some of the world's biggest fans of your favorite franchises. From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, let's plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered. IGN, the #1 source for all games and entertainment fans worldwide.
Everybody loves watching a speedrun of their favorite game, but what if you got a chance to peek into the minds of the developers behind those games as they watch their hard work be completely destroyed right in front of them?
Pô, mostra ads, né, meu parceirinho?
That's exactly what happens on every episode of Devs React to Speedruns. We invite you to ride along with the developers as they watch, react, and enjoy some of the craziest gameplay by the most skilled speedrunners on the planet.
Deve ser agindo.
Tune in every Saturday for a brand new episode.
Speedrunners.
In a world with non-stop news about Marvel, DC, Star Wars, you need a show with accurate reporting, hard-hitting commentary, and
me, Akeem Watson, host of IGN's news show, The Fix Entertainment. Whether it's the latest superhero scoop, film fiasco, or anime announcement, I'll be here covering all the breaking movie, TV, and streaming news that matters most to you. Make sure to catch The Fix Entertainment on IGN for your fix of entertainment news. Let's drop it. Gamescom 2021 is presented by Pluto TV, free to watch.
And we are back with more Awesome Indies Showcase. I'm your host, Michael Swaim, here having a fabulous speech day all by myself, because who says you can't? Remember, you can check out a full Gamescom schedule at IGN.com or catch up on anything you miss over at now.gamescom.global. Gamescom is powered by gamers, so jump in and let's get going. Speaking of global, wow, that's kind of a stretch. Everyone in the world loves robots. Doing the robot, talking like a robot, navigating your robot through an ever-changing slalom of enemies and traps. So let's take a peek at 4 indies with a taste for steel. God damn it! Son of a... Why does this keep happening? Yeah, I got it.
Tá, jogo de robô, meu.
Hi, Chris from the 30XX team here. This is Fires of Industry, the first 30XX major.
Mega Man.
It has a brand new level.
Cara, copiou Mega Man agora.
Friends to help you conquer it, and
cara, é igualzinho, velho. Olha isso.
The Forgotten Factory, Dustria, is a playground for high-speed kinetic action. Use springs to bounce along wild paths not possible in other levels.
Mano, é o Mega Man.
Turn the tide of battle by smashing explosives into nearby foes. Tired of aiming? Try Nina's new Jagged Bolt, which bends in midair and adds homing capabilities to her other powers. Master Ace's devastating Ryusei ground smash to pulverize foes in style. You don't have to face Dustria's new challenges alone. Fires of Industry adds repros to 30XX, floating friends you can find that'll help out in battle and open up fresh new build options. Lil Hoot here charges up a tornado attack whenever you yourself use a power, and Reboot juices up as you defend against attacks, building into a devastating laser. Find them all and see how they can help you out. This is 30XX's first major content
Capital da
update.
punição.
Hard work on the game since its early access launched 6 months ago. In that time, they've more than tripled the number of items and weapons to get equipped with in each run.
80 novos itens, protótipos, mudam regras. Eventos diários ranqueados, desafios diários ranqueados.
There's still so much more to come. 30XX's Fires of Industry update is available now on Steam Early Access.
Beginning final tests.
30XX.
Movement functionality works fine. Great. Initiating time transfer.
Time transfer complete. Successfully arrived in 1995. Local time, 10 a.m.
A musicona eu achei, porra, vai ser negócio.
Movement functionality is damaged. Need to find and reattach the missing wheels as soon as possible. The house is in an awful condition. It looks deserted. I wonder what could have happened.
You, little one, have a very important job to do. I'm counting on you.
Time loader. Tempo de carregamento. Meta publish. Publicadora meta. Tá, isso parece bem interessante. Que isso? Você cria um super robô pra lutar contra outros super robôs. Vai usando vários ataques. Os ataques vêm em cartas. Parece que só muda a cor. Caralho, só muda a cor mesmo. Jupiter mounts. Os criadores de Warhammer. Um pós-apocalíptico 4 vezes Zephon.
Zephon is a 4X strategy game set in a post-apocalyptic world full of steampunk and cosmic horror. Our next game is not. In fact, it's been under wraps for a while now, so I only know it as Project Ricky. Could it be a Ricky Gervais simulator? A game about mixing the perfect lime Ricky? I don't know. All I know for sure is, oh, basketballs now? That's it, I'm walking. We're moving, it's a company move, people. That means you grab your shit and you walk with me.
Cara, tá bravo. Big Sugar. Opa, agora sim. Looping. Looping temporal. Abissos.
Okay, Michael Swaim still here for the Awesome Indies Showcase, coming to you from an undisclosed location. far from any balls or other beach-related hazards. What was that? Oh no. All right, we're good. It's just a bird. Anyway, you just saw the world premiere trailer for Abyssus, a brand new FPS, and now we're gonna check out some indies set in medieval times, before volleyball or basketball were even invented. Must be nice. Let's take a closer look at the Serpent Rogue, Arcadian Atlas, and Evil.
Peggy 7.
Os caras só querem duas coisas: Sons of the Forest e Battlefield 2042. Tá, agora os malucos com a máscara da época da Peste Negra. A Serpente Roll, tá entendendo? Da Team 17. Pô, os caras estão produzindo vários jogos essa empresa aí, Team 17. E aquele eu achei interessante, aquele Zephon. Eu dou uma olhadinha depois.
We both knew this day was coming.
Nós dois sabíamos que esse dia estava chegando. Esse dia chegaria.
A day to choose.
A dia de escolher. Escolher entre mim, entre sei lá o que e eu.
While battle lines were being drawn, you tarried in your choice, gathering allies. So it seems I must make the choice for you. Shuffle the Atlas. I'll give you war.
Arcadian Atlas. Wishlist on Steam. Tá, disponível aqui.
You've traveled far, but you finally made it to your new home. The town of Evil. Excited to start your new life? Well, not so fast. Evil is filled with mysterious murders, and we need your help. Take on one of the many roles Evil has to offer you, such as the Seer, Trapper, or Guard, along with other possible roles to aid you.
Jogo 3D, finalmente.
Work together with the other townsfolk to root out the evil that lurks in the shadows.
Sei o estilão assim da época, o estilo medieval que é, as casas e tal. A movimentação também pegou um outro para bom que é antigo, né? Mas todos muda bastante, mas o gráfico só do 1 pro 2. Muda principalmente.
Go! Go buy a tripwire for your house or a lock for your door.
Mas tem um estilão.
Now, where were we? Take on quests to restore order and explore areas like the fortress ruins.
Bonito.
To gather resources you need to craft items like protection potions, antidotes, or even a vial of deadly poison. As night falls over Evil, chaos will roam its streets.
Oxi.
Without protection, you may fall victim to those who roam the night.
Ela luta.
If you're lucky enough to be woken up, run. for as long as you can and hope they don't catch you.
Quando você vai... Nossa, pesado, matou o cara ali, foda-se.
Hurry to the town center. Share with the others what you saw.
Cara, não tô entendendo nada. Denunciou de crime.
And a little luck,
e prendeu ela.
You'll be able to discover and rid of the murderers who plague the town.
Caralho, botou fogo, foda-se.
But death is not the end in evil.
Isso não é o fim do mal.
If you are
Eita, tem uma história bizarra por trás, então.
Death, you'll awaken into the underworld, a new world
o
for you
submundo.
to explore. Being dead and evil does not mean you are left to watch the living continue on with their days. Your new world is filled with new adventures and spirits that need your help.
Interessante.
Revisit the world of the living and help out these lost souls while your fellow villagers fight for their
umas
lives.
perdidas e tal, ajudar elas.
Helping these spirits will reward you with spirit tokens. This currency allows you to learn new abilities to help and alter the fate of the living. It is up to you how you want to help out the other players. Awaken an endangered citizen to save them from death. Lend them some coins or heal them to get the upper hand. Being among the dead no longer counts you out of the fate of the Talon of Evil. So the question is, what will you do amongst the dead?
Realmente Steam. Isso parece um pouco melhor. Evil
Coming up next on Awesome Indies,
10
10
more
big trailers for our grand finale.
trocadilho.
Plus even more Gamescom coverage on Gamescom Studio after that. Hope you'll join us.
Heads up.
I hate Venice Beach.
Gamescom 2021 is presented by USAA Insurance.
O último parecia melhor.
Not only is IGN the world's biggest media brand for games and entertainment, but we also have a team of some of the world's biggest fans of your favorite franchises. From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, let's plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered. IGN, the #1 source for all games and entertainment fans worldwide.
In a world with non-stop news about Marvel, DC, Star Wars, you need a show with accurate reporting, hard-hitting commentary, and
me, Akeem Lawanson, host of IGN's news show, The Fix Entertainment. Whether it's the latest superhero scoop, film fiasco, or anime announcement, I'll be here covering all the breaking movie, TV, and streaming news that matters most to you. Make sure to catch The Fix Entertainment on IGN for your fix of entertainment news. Let's drop it.
If you're not following IGN on social media, what are you waiting for? We're constantly updating our feeds to bring you the latest news, gameplay, custom original content, the best user-generated videos and art, memes, and a whole lot more. Be part of the conversation throughout the year. Follow IGN on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Snapchat.
What's up everyone, Sydney here to bring you a little update about the future of IGN on YouTube. We've been listening to your feedback and it seems like some of you are more into games while others are more interested in movies and TV. So we got to thinking about it and decided, why not both? Our main channel will still bring you all the biggest news, reviews, previews, and trailers to keep you up to speed on the most important highlights. But if you only want games content 24/7, head over to IGN Games. Movies and TV, more your thing? Check out IGN Movies and TV. More channels, more of the stuff you love, more IGN.
Propagandas da IGN.
Gamescom 2021 is presented by Pluto TV, free to watch.
Hi, Michael Slame here for the Awesome Indies Showcase, coming to you from as far away from Venice Beach as our film license legally allows. This is our showcase of all things indie, and we've still got 10 amazing trailers to share with you before we get out of here. Remember, if you want to learn more about our sustainability project, Gamescom Forest, revel in some Gamescom memories, or just catch anything you missed, head over to now.gamescom.global or follow Gamescom on social media. Next up, 3 indie trailers that could not be more unique. We'll start things off with Dice Legacy, a game about building up a quaint village in a ring world using dice rolls. Okay.
Fate brought us here, stranded on this unknown continent.
Construir uma cidade.
Conspired against us. But together, we built a settlement. We ventured into the unknown. We gathered knowledge. We established a society. We survived harsh winters and resisted the onslaught of a mysterious population.
Caraca, você tira na sorte pra construir essa. Mano, é um jogo atrás do outro.
Sacrifices.
Você tira nos dados pra construir. É uma batalha.
Fate. Oh, cruel fate.
Que isso? Mano, parece atirar na sorte. 9/9. 9 de setembro. Atira na sorte. 5 horas é 17 horas. Hã? Mas ele pergunta a mesma coisa sempre.
Teamwork and strategy are key. Utilize bleeding-edge drone technology to assist co-workers and identify competitors. You'll learn to disrupt, circle back, employ cloud-based solutions.
Agora esse jogo parece da hora. O NC.
We're not a faceless corporation. Just ask one of our thousands of HR executives. Your future is bright at United Corporations.
United Corporations? Melhor que muito joguinho aí de FPS. Me lembra o Rainbow Six Siege, só que... Ah, é o 95.
Download now on Steam.
Roguelite. Construir minha cidade. Pra quem gosta desse estilo, né? É um prato cheio. Que isso? Agache da Storm. É, parece ter uma história envolvida, mas não sei. Tinha um jogo de cidade de novo.
See, just when you thought indie games couldn't get any more specific, in rolls Against the Storm, a game where humanoid beavers strive to rebuild their civilization on a planet where it never stops raining. Ha! What do they think of next? I am agog. In fact, I think I need 3 more indie trailers to snap me out of it. Here comes a fresh take on Rampage, plus 2 more for good measure.
Violência intensa. Monstros, isso é um monte de monstros que destrói a cidade. Carnage, Carnificina. Autônomos. Salamandra. Punish. Unbelievers. Inacreditável. Co-op. Co-op do caos. Co-op desse jogo. Pânico. Destrua tudo. Oh, os efeitos gráficos são bonitos. Terror de Esmasauro. Todos esses projetos.
Hey there, my name is Todd Darcy. I'm the solo developer at Starter Fox Studios, and for the past 3 years I've been working on a game called Fallen Frontier. It's a sci-fi strategy game that just mixes the close action of naval combat as well as the grand scale of building throughout a star system. It focuses heavily on line of sight mechanics and really visceral combat systems that are layered upon each other. So you'll see projectiles bouncing off of ships, penetrating the whole way through, oxygen venting out the other side. You'll see crew trying to get out, and you'll see these really large explosions, and the ships just get torn apart by physics, and they go everywhere. It's fantastic to watch. There's a whole bunch of celestial bodies and a whole range of other places to explore, like a nebula. Ships travel faster than light. They have to jump between points and they consume fuel. Crew have to eat, so they consume food, and of course ships spend munitions whenever they fire. So there's all of these logistical considerations to actually think about when you're actually playing the game. So it's got a lot of the classic things that you would find in normal RTS, like base building. But it also borrows different elements from the 4X genre, such as ship design, and you can actually come into this ship editor and you can change the different types of weapons that you put on a ship. These all get unlocked via research, and you can just have these custom configurations to just really suit your actual purposes for your flotillas. Further to that, you've also got ship internals as well. So every ship has a bridge, crew quarters, jump drive, engines, stuff like that, and again, you can unlock different components and apply these to every ship, just to have a really unique, customized flotilla. But you can also add special abilities like the ability to lay a minefield, or perhaps attach a ship to maybe the underside of an asteroid, so it can lay in wait and perhaps do a bit of an ambush, or perhaps do a bit of recon. There's really a whole bunch of different options, and it's just really exciting just to have all of these things jammed into sort of an old school RTS. As well, you've got crew, so you've got both enlisted and also command crew. So command crew are really important. They are physical objects on the actual ships, so they can be killed, injured, and they can also be upgraded too, so they can learn perks and skills that will enhance the ships. And here we've got a ship just jumping into the combat area. As mentioned previously, they are physicalized objects, so they're going to push through different asteroids. Projectiles will bounce off of space stations and ships. Some will penetrate through and cause internal damage. Ships can be disabled or they can be destroyed depending upon what kind of damage they naves, take. So,
detalhe por detalhe,
so you'll see ships
contra naves alienígenas inimigas para proteger a sua galáxia, área, não sei.
List away into the distance. You'll see crew trying to actually just escape, which can be captured if it's an enemy crew, or they can be rescued if they're friendly crew. In the event that you capture crew, then they can be interrogated, and perhaps you can find out some different bits of information about your opponent's ship movements, or perhaps there are actual installations. So we can see this space station that's just been destroyed. You need a classic blue light for a big explosion. It's almost
ele vai explodir, ele vai implodir e explodir.
And you just see this hulking mass just on fire with smoke and flames going everywhere. So yeah, that just kind of sums up what Falling Frontier is, just this visceral space combat experience. Thank you for taking the time to check this out, and look forward to seeing you in game. Thank you so much.
Hello Gamescom, my name is Michał and I'm the communication manager for Timberborn, which is a post-apocalyptic city builder full of beavers. Timberborn is set on Earth, where humans are gone but beavers are not. The world alternates between wet and dry seasons, and the beavers use their engineering skills to survive the deadly droughts. Timberborn is coming to early access very soon, and today we're gonna show you the second playable beaver faction. Enjoy!
Mais construction.
See? Just when you think indie games can't get any more specific, up comes Timberborn, a game about humanoid beavers striving to rebuild their civilization on a world stricken by cataclysmic droughts. Huh, that sounds familiar. Oh well, must be deja vu. We've still got 4 indie games left to share with you, and here come 3 of them. Up first, it's the Waylanders.
Stepping across 1,000 years takes only a moment.
A gente só queria...
This is a different time. Filled with castles and high stone walls. With great temples in honor of a god you do not know. And heresy is swiftly punished. While magic hides in mountain caves and deep forests. Away from mortal eyes. Where will you go, Torchbearer, to continue your story? Where will you seek your lost companions? Will you find mortals reborn in the villages of Galicia? So full of lively taverns. And boisterous brothel.
What the fuck?
Will you brave the dark dungeons of the Grand Inquisitor?
Tá, jogo medieval, liberdade total.
Where imprisoned immortals are caged. Or enter the castle of the Knights Templar.
Templares.
Who will accompany you on this journey to save the past of the Celts from the future? Find and awaken these old souls, for the fate of magic is at stake.
Baianers.
Welcome to Endlight.
Parece que é um
Thanks,
RPG.
IGN. Endlight. Break through and outlast.
Esse jogo parece mais divertido que os outros. Tá, aquele jogo anterior parece ser legal, mas não sei, não deu. Parece ser liberdade total, um RPG. E aí?
Releasing next month, one player. What's new? We've improved the graphics to 4K, and we've improved performance. It runs at 120 frames per second on good machines. This is the outside bonus level. You can travel freely anywhere you want. Take your time, you can't be hurt. It's a break from all the chaos. There's still a lot going on, and your goal is just to find the hoops and the level finishes. Can get a little bit psychedelic on some of the levels. And now we're gonna...
Não faça isso comigo. Tá. Ai, não é possível que acabou a live de maneira bizarra.
Regular game?
Mano, é o jogo do voador agora. Mano, que isso? Peraí, essa live tá em quanto tempo já? Puta que pariu, essa live tá 3 horas, meu parceirinho.
The flood. I don't remember when it started. Most of them fled. Others came knocking at my door. We started to rebuild a village, but... Take refuge in the lighthouse, quickly! The lulls are always short-lived, and storms turn weeks of effort to dust. We won't let it get us down. Where there's life, there's hope. With each new arrival, we build new buildings, develop new skills, and provide more manpower so that no one goes to bed hungry. We're holding on, and until the next storm.
See, just when you think indie games can't get any more specific, in blows Diluvian Winds, a game about humanoid beavers struggling to build a civilization in a world that never stops raining. Okay, seriously? Something is going on with these beaver games. Beaver fever, mark my words. And yet somehow they all look good. You know, I might be delirious from volleyball blows to the head, or maybe it's about time to wrap up this showcase. Either way, we've got a real treat to go out on. And don't forget to stay tuned afterwards for more Gamescom studio coverage, which picks up right where we leave off. Now, here's an exclusive world premiere first look at Oaken.
Pô, já é o quinto esse estilo aqui.
Forest deeps, my beloved child sweetly sleeps.
Eita, isso aí parece interessante. Teste suas habilidades de skill. Derrotado. Postura seu deck. É Hearthstone na natureza? Bonito. Caralho, é Hearthstone da natureza, só que de outra maneira. Eu não sei como funciona muito bem Hearthstone, mas... Ah, nossa. É o joguinho de cartas. Ou a.
Thus ends my solo beach day at fabulous Venice Beach, California. I can't say I made many friends, and in fact I killed one seagull in a blind rage, but we got to share a bunch of cool new indie games with you, so I still feel pretty good about it. Thanks for joining me, folks. My name's Michael Swaim, and this has been Gamescom's Awesome Indies Showcase. Up next, Gamescom rolls on with more Gamescom Studio. Remember, if you miss anything, you can catch up over at now.gamescom.global, or turn your Gamescom into a game in its own right at nowgamescomglobal.com/epics with an X. Thank you all so much. Gamescom Studio picks up right after the break. Oh! I'm okay.
Mano, eu fiquei pensando, isso daí foi fake ou não? Mano, não é possível isso aí. O maluco ficou sangrando lá, mano. Deve ter sido fake, não é possível que aquilo foi real. O maluco tomou uma bolada e saiu sangrando, velho.
Gamescom 2021 is presented by USAA Insurance.
Não, chega. Para. Não precisa mostrar, eu já sei que você é patrocinado pela GM. Não precisa disso.
Everybody loves watching a speedrun of their favorite game, but what if you got a chance to peek into the mind of the developers behind those games as they watch their hard work get completely destroyed right in front of them?
What is happening right now?
That's exactly what happens on every episode of Devs React to Speedruns. We invite you to ride along with the developers as they watch, react, and enjoy some of the craziest gameplay by the most skilled speedrunners on the planet. Tune in every Saturday for a brand
Esses
new
jogos aí
episode.
são melhores. Esses jogos que apareceram aí no Devs React, bem melhores. Mano, os caras fazem jogos muito genéricos, velho. Tem um jogo ou outro que eu falo, caralho, interessante. Mas a maioria é muito genérica, tipo, cópia da cópia, tá ligado? Mano, já foram uns 5 jogos, como que fala? Uns 5 jogos desse estilo aí de construir alguma coisa com alguma coisinha por trás, alguma história. Esse Gamescom Forest, o que é?
Leaf of Legends and Pinecraft. Released in 2020.
Faço a menor ideia do que é isso.
Expansion Pack 2021. Launch soon. Gamescom Forest.
Já apareceu umas 5 vezes esse bagulho que é propaganda, mas não sei o que é. Alguma coisa pra preservar a natureza? No ambiente? Não, deve ser. Mostra uma máquina fazendo a natureza nascer de novo, deve ser alguma coisa assim pra...
Wi-Fi signal. Save a bee, plant a tree.
Preservar a natureza.
The Gamescom Forest.
From breaking news and exclusives, never before seen looks at movies and games.
Mano, nem apareceu nada disso, mas bem que é propaganda de dinheiro, então tudo bem.
IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are.
Mas eu queria ter visto alguma dessas coisas.
Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered.
Gamescom 2021 is presented by Pluto TV, free to watch.
Hello, my name's Joe Screbbles. I'm executive editor of news at IGN, and one of my favorite things about Gamescom is the Indie Village. One of my favorite things about any show is being able to just walk around and find something new. This is why physical events are so exciting to me. And Gamescom has traditionally had the Indie Village that's just stuffed with games you wouldn't see anywhere else, and you're seeing all of it sight unseen for the first time, usually with the developer right next to you. So a few years ago, we ended up heading to the Indie Village when we had an hour free in our schedule and playing just a bunch of really strange, unexpected games, and some of which were massively impressive. I remember playing Keyboard Sports, which was a game about controlling a character doing sort of sporty challenges, but you controlled it with literally every key on the keyboard, which was just hilarious. Like, I've never seen that before or since. And another game called Semblance, which I believe was a South African studio, and they'd made this platformer where you got around not by using normal platforming skills, but by bouncing the actual environment to fit it into shapes you wanted. And the Indie Village is just this little spot that you can just walk into and see these kinds of things, these experiments and these versions of games that you won't see anywhere else on the show floor. And you might come away with something that you never knew you were going to be this excited about. And I think that's just a super valuable thing.
Hello again, this is Gamescom Studio right here on IGN Live, and a friendly reminder that if you missed anything during our show or want even more info and content on upcoming games, Gamescom now has you covered. Plus, if you take part in the Gamescom Epics Quest, you can win goodies and prizes, and best of all, it's all completely free. Head over to now.gamescom.global to find out more.
There's still a ton of great stuff coming up, like an exclusive first look at the anime-inspired hack-and-slash Solstice, and a deep dive on Age of Empires 4, plus a very special episode of Next Gen Console Watch. But right now, because you've all been so well behaved, we have another block of trailers. Look, I gotta level with you. We were gonna show them anyway, no matter how well you behave, so go nuts out there.
Oh, louco. Timécia, parecia legal isso aqui, mas... Mano, a Team 17 tem outro jogo na mão, caramba. O cara tem quantos jogos? É o jogo de criar sua própria Jurassic Park Jurassic. Jesus. Ah, é outro jogo, Prehistoric Kingdom, não é do Jurassic Park não. PC. Pô, nem divulgar se vai ter pra Steam não. PC. Trailer exclusivo. Elysium? Vai ter jogo do Elysium? Opa, esse parece interessante. Esse filme é da hora. Pra caçarolas. Caramba, o FPS, mano. Nossa, muito louco. Tem um gráfico no naipe do Crysis. Ah, olha o strafe aí, ó. Mano, olha o Ray Trace separado. Se for tão bom quanto o filme, tá aparecendo. Mas tem câmera em terceira também? Igual o... Esqueci o nome daquele jogo, o Deus Ex. O Deus Ex também tem câmera em terceira. Às vezes, né? Mas não é o foco. Bem stealth em game, ó, eu curti já. A câmera em terceira pessoa é horrível, mas a primeira tá safe. Bem pegada Splinter Cell e Metal Gear. Ah, você pode mudar estrefa pro outro lado. Caralho, essa luz aí, se for. Para o tempo. Curti. Olha o carro Cyberpunk. Caralho, o carro voa, mano. What the fuck? Sem limites. Mundo aberto, caralho. Caralho, controlar um carro que voa é foda. Shadow Conspiracy. Ah, it's Shadow Conspiracy.
And we're back. That was Timesia, Prehistoric Kingdom, and Shadow of Conspiracy. Damon, wasn't that awesome?
Indeed it was, Kim. Some great reveals there. In fact, we're now very tired from all the high energy excitement around here, so we're gonna take a very short break. We'll be back with another Gamescom award and much more Gamescom Studio right here on IGN after this.
Crows is an upcoming open world shooter targeting a PC release. Let's take a look at the Crows gameplay trailer.
Jogos de peixe, família, tamo fora.
From the creators of Plan Turismo, League of Legends, and Minecraft. Released in 2020, Expansion Pack 2021, launch soon. Gamescom Forest. Not a game, but a game-changing project. Thousands of trees were donated by the best community in the world because we need oxygen even more than a good Wi-Fi signal. Save a bee, plant a tree.
Propagandas, né?
Let's grow. The Gamescom Forest.
Welcome back to Gamescom Studio. Gamescom has an initiative this year that may sound unexpected, but in reality, it makes a lot of sense for what the show is about. Here to tell us more about Gamescom Forest is head of Gamescom, Christian Bauer. Welcome, Christian. Why did Gamescom decide to support a reforestation project?
Yeah.
Well,
agora acabou.
Gamescom and gaming is much more to many people than just a hobby. It's a way of life. And as such, we believe that it's important that we also concern ourselves with topics that are relevant to a larger part of the society. Saving the environment and saving the climate is super important to the gamers out there and also to the games companies. Hence, we wanted to make an impact, something that we could do together with the community.
And why did you decide on a reforestation project in particular?
Gamescom's home is in Germany, as you know. And Germany used to be a country covered in forests.
Esse aqui acabou. Vou dar uma olhadinha nesse trailer aqui. É o mesmo trailer, né? Nova geração, PS5, Xbox Series X. É, com esse gráfico aqui faz muito sentido. Foda. É, galera. Vai ficando por hoje essa live. Pelo menos essa do Welcome Endis. Ainda vai ter a outra, mas essa a gente vai chegar um pouquinho atrasado. Porque essa aqui durou o tempo da outra. Eu achei bem fã, mas é isso. Valeu, galera. Galera, até mais. Nossa, fiz errado.